Chapter 1171. Bai Xiaoya did not have much experience in society. She could not understand why Randolph was released so soon after he was arrested. She wanted to hold herself back from asking, but she felt that society was so unfair. She could not hold back her anger and opened her mouth. Randolph, your mafia is in cahoots with the American government. How can a sinner like you be released? Bai Xiaoya frowned and said. Su Yin was not as naive as Bai Xiaoya. He knew the American government's attitude toward the Gambino family. They must want to find a chance to destroy them completely, but they could not do anything about it. They couldn't do anything to them. If they did find evidence, Su Yin believed that the U.S. government would not hesitate to take action. Now that Randolph had appeared in China and confronted Su Yin, it could only mean that the American government didn't have enough evidence to convict him. Or perhaps, the American government needed Randolph's help to do something. Obviously, the American government needed Randolph to come to Huaxia. That was why Randolph appeared in Huaxia so quickly. If that's the case, I'm afraid I really need to ask you. Randolph sneered. You caused me to be taken away by the government. You must give me an explanation no matter what. Release me? You asked for it. Bai Xiaoya snorted. Randolph had been holding back for a long time because of this. The reason why he could come out so quickly was not because the government liked him that much. It was because he was still useful. When the CIA promised Randolph to arrange for Wesley to meet him, he knew that the American government had enough evidence in Wesley's hands to incriminate him. That was why he dared to expose Wesley. It did not matter even if he killed Wesley. After all, that person was useless. Randolph naturally would not let Wesley off. When Wesley saw Randolph through Douglas's summons, he knew it was too late. After Randolph confirmed Wesley's betrayal, the first thing he did was to kill him. Once Sidney received the order, Wesley did not live to see the sun rise the next day. Douglas used enough evidence to incriminate Randolph and made a deal with him. He wanted Randolph to find the person the U.S. government wanted. Randolph had no choice. If he didn't do as Douglas said, he would be sentenced to hundreds of years in prison. Mafia families never lacked internal conflicts. Once Randolph was accused, it would mean that a huge internal conflict would break out in the Gambino family. How many people were there? Randolph knew very well that he would do anything to get the position of godfather, because that was how he got the position. That was why Randolph was able to find Su Yin so quickly and come to Huaxia with the help of the U.S. government. There was no such thing as eternal opposition. It was the same even between the American government and the 5 major families in New York. As long as there were benefits to be gained, everyone would definitely cooperate. Randolph would not be able to get any money, nor would he be able to get the right to not be interfered with. The U.S. government agreed, as long as he can bring back the people they want, destroy all the evidence of his guilt. There was no reason for Randolph to reject this deal. Godfather, there is no point for you to look for me now, Su Yin said calmly. I have already parted ways with old Gu and the rest. Su Yin, are you that naive to think that I'm here for Gu Guolong? Randolph sneered. I don't want to beat around the bush with you. You've set me up, haven't you? Now hand over Kevin Matthew to me. Maybe I will let you go and let bygones be bygones. Su Yin pretended to be surprised and said, Maybe? Do you mean that even if I hand over Kevin Matthew to you, you will not let me go? Humph, who knew what they were up to now? They were even more direct. Yes, Randolph said firmly. Then why should I hand him over to you? Not to mention that I don't know where Kevin and Matthew are right now. Even if I did, it's impossible for me to bring them to you just because you said maybe. Su Yin was speechless. Godfather, your wishful thinking is even more beautiful than the Rui Jingu Bang. Randolph snorted. Then I am afraid that you will not be able to solve this problem so easily. Ruan Qingshuang and the rest were brought out from a sealed container in the warehouse. Their hands were tied behind their backs, and their mouths were sealed with tape. Their eyes were also blindfolded. They had heard Su Yin's voice, but they could not speak. They could not communicate with Su Yin. The guards were all Wei Yishan's men. Lord Zeng, aren't you afraid that others will laugh at you for bullying your juniors? Su Yin finally spoke to Wei Yishan. He knew that Wei Yishan did not say a word from the beginning. He was waiting for Wei Yishan to lower his stance. You are making things difficult for me. Wei Yishan finally looked at Su Yun carefully. The new generation excels the old. The blue has surpassed the blue. The younger generation will surpass the older generation. Lord Zeng, don't say that. The younger generation will surpass us in time. You can only say that to others, but never to Lord Zeng. Su Yun said, I don't know what your relationship with Godfather is, but we are all Huaxia people. Lord Zeng, please give me some face. It is better for you not to interfere in this matter. Xiong Feng scolded coldly. How dare you? Who are you to teach Lord Zeng how to do things? Wei Yishan raised his hand to signal Xiong Feng to calm down. He said to Su Yun calmly, Young people should not be so impatient. CEO Su, I have heard of you. You are young and promising. My old bones really shouldn't have provoked you. I should have avoided you. Haha. However, I have my principles and my rules. This is my relationship with my godfather. A satisfied smile appeared on Randolph's face as he listened to his bodyguard's translation. Lord Zeng, you are experienced in Jianghu. Since you know the rules, do you also feel that what you have done is a little shameless? Su Yun said bluntly, Since you said to avoid the sharpness, then I will show my sharpness in all directions. What are you talking about? Xiong Feng straightened his neck. It was the first time he saw a young man who was so disrespectful to Wei Yishan. This matter is shameless. Bai Xiaoye said impolitely. Come at us if you dare. Why do you want to catch them? Wei Yishan was scolded, but he didn't show any reaction. You can say whatever you want. I know that CEO Su is a young man with character. If I don't have any trump cards, it will be hard for me to invite you. Since I am here, you can let them go, Su Yun said. Wei Yishan shook his head. I'm afraid that I will need your cooperation. Then he glanced at Randolph. Randolph pointed at Ruan Qingshuang and the others. You saw it. You exchanged Kevin Matthew for so many people. It's not a loss at all. If you have made up your mind, give me a definite answer now. Mr. Su, you know that my patience is almost zero. I tricked you once and you still believe me. Su Yun said. Godfather, I told you that I don't know where Kevin Matthew is. You should find another way to solve this problem. Randolph stood up agitatedly. Find another way to solve this problem? Okay. Then I will kill all of you. That's even more difficult. Bai Xiaoye said heavily. Since we can't reach an agreement, we will fight to the death. Even if I die here today, you won't leave here alive. Chapter 1172. Xiong Feng's sudden attack was completely out of Su Yun's expectations. Logically speaking, Xiong Feng was a famous expert in the underground world. Being calm was a necessary quality for an expert, right? His behavior of wanting to fight to the death at the slightest disagreement was something that only low-level experts who felt good about themselves would do, right? Xiong Feng's attack was too sudden, and Su Yun didn't see it coming. By the time he realized it, it was already too late. With the distance between him and Bai Xiaoye, even if he helped, he wouldn't be able to block Xiong Feng's attack. Bai Xiaoye didn't have the chance to dodge. Whether she could block this attack in time would depend on her luck. If she was injured by Xiong Feng, Su Yun probably didn't know what he would do next. Big brother Xiong, don't be so serious. She's a girl after all. You should at least have some protective feelings for her. The handsome young man who led Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye here actually blocked Xiong Feng's attack easily. He placed one hand on Xiong Feng's right arm and walked in front of Xiong Feng, blocking his path. Xiong Feng was startled. Qingzhu, what do you mean by this? The handsome young man smiled modestly. Big brother Xiong, there are so many people here. If news of you attacking a girl spreads out, wouldn't it be a bit too? You'll be laughed at by others? So what if it's a joke? Anyone who dares to disrespect Lord Zeng will be killed without mercy. Xiong Feng said coldly, it's because of this that Lord Zeng is so important in the underground world. That's why no one dares to disrespect Lord Zeng. Qingzhu, if you don't know the rules, I can teach you slowly. Can you move aside now? Clearly, Xiong Feng didn't expect Song Qingzhu to block his attack so easily. It was completely out of his expectations. Song Qingzhu. Su Yun didn't expect this handsome young man to be the guy who made a name for himself in the underground world at the age of 16. People called him defeating armies. The name defeating armies came from astrology, but it really suited Song Qingju's personality. He was a person who sought new things and wasn't afraid of violence. He had a clear distinction between good and evil, and he was frank and straightforward. He was famous in the underground world. Of course, he also had an intimidating side. He did things his own way, stubbornly argued, wasn't easy to cooperate, and lacked flexibility. Once he got angry, he wouldn't recognize anyone. Su Yun really didn't dare to believe that Wei Yishan actually had this kind of standard to take Song Qingju under his command, and even make him willingly run errands for him. Song Qingju stood in front of Xiong Feng, and her stubborn side was vividly displayed. Brother Xiong, since I've stopped you, I have my reasons. You'd better listen to my advice. What if I don't listen? Xiong Feng was Wei Yishan's #1 general. Over the years, his prestige was very high. Other than Wei Yishan, no one dared to go against his will. Ssufs, Zangzufs of his face Zangzangzes. Zangzes. SSS, SSSSSSSNs. Enough. Wei Yishan was a calm person, but he couldn't help but speak up. It was embarrassing for his own people to quarrel in front of outsiders. It's just a small matter. You don't have to be at each other's throats. Song Qingju still had a gentle smile on his face. He said to Wei Yishan, "You're right." Xiong Feng wasn't satisfied. He angrily waved his hand and glared at Song Qingju. Although Song Qingju didn't overreact, she still flashed a provocative smile at Xiong Feng's attitude. This sudden change made Randolph a little confused. Why would there be a conflict between his own people? Was it because Wei Yishan's leadership wasn't good enough? "Mr. Wei, your people should listen to your orders," Randolph said. "If this situation happened in my family, I would use the Huaxia's ancient saying to kill one as an example to others. This is related to your prestige." "Kill one as an example to others?" "Humph," Wei Yishan said in his heart. "It's easy for you to say. But if I asked you to kill your subordinate Sydney, you wouldn't be able to do it." "Godfather, I'm sorry for making a fool of myself." Wei Yishan naturally wouldn't say what he was thinking. "My way of educating my subordinates is more relaxed. I give them as much space as possible." The Huaxia's ancient saying to kill one as an example to others is not only about killing one as an example to others, but also about using virtue to win people over. Sometimes, using force can only control people for a while. Using virtue to win people over will make them respect you for a lifetime. These words were too profound. Randolph couldn't understand them. What he wanted was a result today. He wanted Su Yun to exchange Kevin Matthew for his people. "Lord Zeng, you can talk to Godfather Randolph about these moral lessons later." Su Yun smiled. "Now let's talk about the current situation." "Do we need Godfather to tell us the current situation?" Xiong Feng said. "We'll give you 24 hours to bring back the people Godfather wants, and I'll return your people to you unharmed. If you do not bring them back within 24 hours, I am sorry to say, but I will choose one of them to die as an incentive to you. Remember, no matter how long it takes, you have to bring them back. Every 24 hours, I'll kill one of them. If you don't bring them back after killing all of them, the next one to die will be the woman next to you. And then, you." Xiong Feng's words were like a sharp dagger, stabbing into Su Yun's heart bit by bit. There was a limit to everyone's patience. Su Yun, who had been trying his best to smile, finally turned cold. Since Xiong Feng wanted to kill Bai Xiaoye, Su Yun didn't like him at all. Now, Xiong Feng even threatened him with someone important to him. It was unforgivable. "Crazy Bear. I'm not Godfather's subordinate. You'd better be polite to me," Su Yun said. "My temper isn't as good as Godfather's subordinates. I can tolerate you." "What can I do if I don't tolerate you?" Xiong Feng snorted. "Boss Su, you're young, capable, and have a company, but that doesn't mean I'll think highly of you. If you're not convinced, I'll play with you at any time." Su Yun snorted in disdain. His eyes were like lightning as he stared at Xiong Feng. "You don't have the right to make me not convinced, do you? If I don't make things clear, who do you think you are? I'm here to talk to Godfather. You don't have the right to talk to me." Xiong Feng clenched his fists, making a bone-chilling cracking sound. "You'll know whether I have the right or not after you try." Outside the warehouse, two seagulls' cries sounded bitterly. I'll play with you. Su Yun's expression changed, and his murderous aura exploded at the same time. The warehouse fell into a deadlock. The seagulls' cries came from Lin Ge. That was their secret signal. Once Lin Ge sneaked in, he would send a signal to Su Yun. Su Yun would try his best to cause chaos with Bai Xiaoye, and then Lin Ge would take advantage of the chaos to save Bai Xiaoye. Once he succeeded, he would retreat immediately. As long as he could save Ruan Qingshuang and the others, Su Yun would slowly settle the score with Randolph and Wei Yishan. When Su Yun's aura exploded, Xiongfeng finally understood why he was so confident. Such a powerful aura proved that he was powerful. However, as Godfather's #1 warrior, Xiongfeng was not someone to be trifled with. Xiongfeng responded quickly. The two powerful auras collided, creating an even more intimidating aura. In the entire warehouse, those who were slightly weaker could no longer control their trembling legs. Chapter 1173. While Su Yun and Xiongfeng were fighting, Lin Ge, who was hiding in the dark, suddenly attacked. He went straight for the two guys who were holding Ruan Qingshuang and the others. Lin Ji's sudden appearance shocked Bai Xiaoye. Bai Xiaoye, who was about to attack Rudolph, didn't know what to do. But even with such a sudden attack, Lin Ge did not succeed. It was as if Song Qingzhu had eyes on the back of his head. The moment Lin Ge suddenly appeared in a hidden spot on the roof of the warehouse, Song Qingzhu immediately went up to him. It was impossible for Lin Ge to save him. Su Yun also saw this scene from the corner of his eyes. He knew that something must have gone wrong. Their plan must have been seen through. Friend, not everyone can come to this place as they please. Song Qingzhu blocked Lin Ji's path. I sincerely hope that you just came to the wrong place. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. Since their plan had been seen through, Lin Ge didn't need to explain further. It's hard to say if it's me or you who will be in trouble. Friend, aren't you a little too confident? Only those with strength have the right to be confident. What do you think? Song Qingzhu was definitely qualified to say this. When Wei Yishan saw that Su Yun and Bai Xiaoye came with only 2 people, he signaled his men to be careful with his eyes. Although Gu Lin was ugly and liked to boast, he still knew how to count. He said that there were 3 people on the other side, but only 2 appeared now. Wei Yishan didn't believe that one of the other party's members would run away when it came to the matter, based on the information that his men had secretly eavesdropped. Therefore, he asked Song Qingzhu to be prepared at all times. He didn't know when someone would suddenly join their battle. As long as they were fully prepared, they wouldn't have to be afraid of the other side's tricks. Su Yun and Xiongfeng had already begun to fight. Judging from the current situation, it seemed that they were evenly matched. Xiongfeng's moves were fierce, while Su Yun didn't use softness to overcome hardness. Instead, he used hardness to overcome hardness. He used even tougher moves to confront Xiongfeng. It was obvious that Su Yun was doing this on purpose. He wanted to destroy Xiongfeng's confidence that he was the strongest in the world. Therefore, even though Su Yun could use softness to overcome hardness, using the Taiji technique to deal with Xiongfeng easily, he still did not do so. Song Qingzhu blocked Lin Ge, and a fierce battle was inevitable. Lin Ge was confident that he could defeat Song Qingzhu because he didn't know Song Qingzhu's strength. There weren't many people in the underground world who knew Song Qingzhu's strength, so it was normal that Lin Ge didn't know. Even Su Yun wasn't sure of Song Qingzhu's strength. However, there was one thing that Su Yun was certain of. Any move she made would be seen through by Sydney, and she would be caught off guard by his counterattack. Finally, Sydney found an opportunity to kill. After blocking Bai Xiaoye's flying fairy palm, his fist turned into an eagle's claw and grabbed at Bai Xiaoye's throat. For a fighter of Sydney's level, his grip was enough to crush Bai Xiaoye's throat. At this critical moment, Su Yun, who couldn't get away, and Lin Ge, who was at a disadvantage, couldn't save Bai Xiaoye. Something unexpected happened again. Song Qingzhu, who had stopped Xiongfeng from attacking Bai Xiaoye, actually exposed her back to Lin Ge, and went forward to grab Sydney's poisonous hand. Foreigner, that's enough. Don't overdo it. You'll kill her if you grab her. Song Qingzhu's eyes were cold. This scene not only surprised Bai Xiaoye, but also shocked Su Yun and Lin Ge. As for the other side, they probably couldn't understand why Song Qingzhu did this. Was he betraying them? But if he was, he wouldn't have stopped Lin Ge from saving Bai Xiaoye. That's enough. Wei Yishan couldn't stay calm anymore. Song Qingzhu's brain had short-circuited again and again today, which obviously made him very dissatisfied. Go. At Lord Zheng's command, more than a dozen experts stepped forward, rubbing their fists and rubbing their palms. The situation was about to collapse. Sydney's killing move was blocked by Song Qingzhu. Of course he was very unhappy. He spat out 2 words in stiff Chinese, traitor. Traitors must be killed. This was the Gambino family's motto. Take them down. Seeing that Wei Yishan had given the order, Randolph couldn't sit still anymore. He waved his hand and ordered his subordinates to move out. He only had one goal today, and that was to take them down. He didn't believe that he couldn't get Kevin Matthews' whereabouts from Su Yun. Chapter 1174. Su Yun and his team were outnumbered. Just as they were about to be wiped out by the enemy's human wave tactic, the warehouse was suddenly blasted open. The experts and boxers who were guarding the entrance were thrown in one after another like kites with their strings cut. Their faces were all bruised and swollen, and there wasn't a single patch on their faces that was unharmed. Especially the boxers that Randolph brought over. They were beaten up even more miserably. The person who did this was really ruthless. He clearly knew that they couldn't use medical insurance in Huaxia, yet he still beat them up so ruthlessly. How much money did he want to earn for the hospital? One of them is a famous figure in Jianghuai, while the other is the godfather of the famous Gambino family. I didn't expect them to do such a thing. Isn't this a little too unfair? Originally, we didn't intend to do anything. But after seeing you bully people like this, we can't sit still anymore. At the entrance, there was a group of people. Su Yun didn't even need to look at them to know that the person who spoke was Qianfeng. Other than Qianfeng, there were also Hua Leitang, Han Zhan, Hua Xiaolu, and so on and so forth. The Dragon Fury team had 28 brothers. They stood at the entrance of the abandoned warehouse at Pier 5 and blocked it completely. Not to mention a person. Even a fly wouldn't be able to escape. Randolph's men reacted quickly and took out their pistols. Dragon Fury's brothers didn't fall for this trick. When Randolph's men took out their pistols, they also took out their weapons. Compared to their pistols, Dragon Fury team's firepower was definitely much more powerful. It was on a completely different level. Someone who could carry so many heavy weapons in Huaxia was definitely not a random person in society. No matter how famous a person was in the underground world, it was impossible for him to have so many subordinates carry all kinds of weapons and go out at any time. Wei Yishan was a smart person, and he understood what was going on at a glance. Everyone stop. Wei Yishan gave his subordinates an order first. They would die if they acted rashly. Since he was the master of his subordinates, he had the obligation to stand up at the critical moment to ensure their safety. Hearing Wei Yishan's words, everyone stopped fighting. Even Xiongfeng, who had been fighting Su Yun, took a few steps back to protect himself and avoided Su Yun's attack. He wanted to see what Lord Zheng meant. Brother, we in the underground world have our own rules. We will not act recklessly. Wei Yishan said calmly. May I know how we have offended the military? Damn good eyesight. As expected of Wei Yishan, Su Yun had to admit that this old man's knowledge and judgment were absolutely extraordinary. Su Yun was now as curious as Wei Yishan. Why did his group of brothers suddenly appear? This really left him puzzled even after much thought. At such a crucial moment, a group of people with excellent equipment had barged in. It was simply divine soldiers descending from the sky. So many of you want to attack our boss. What do you think you have done to us? Hua Xiaolu said unhappily. It was supposed to be a one-on-one fight, but you insisted on ganging up. Fine, we will accompany you to the end. Wei Yishan's face changed. Su Yun is your boss? Isn't that obvious nonsense? Han Zhan said coldly. Lord Zheng, we know your rules, but we are not from the underground world. We have only one principle. We will not let go of anyone who dares to harm our boss. Su Yun was actually from the military. Wei Yishan would never have thought of this. Song Qingzhu suddenly opened his mouth and said to himself. As expected of Yan Long, Lin Ge was stunned. Grandson, have you heard of my brother? Brother, can you be more polite? Don't be so rude. I didn't provoke you. Why are you taking advantage of me? Song Qingzhu rolled his eyes at Lin Ge. No matter what, I have helped your little sister resolve 2 crises, right? Can't you be more polite to me? Song Qingzhu was really confusing. Although he was on the opposite side, Lin Ge had to admit that he had indeed helped Bai Xiaoya twice at the risk of offending his own people. Especially the second time when he went to stop Sydney. His entire back was exposed to him. At that time, Lin Ge definitely had the chance to severely injure Song Qingzhu. However, Song Qingzhu was very confident. He was 100% sure that as long as his goal was to help Bai Xiaoya, Lin Ge would not do anything behind his back. Lin Ge suddenly realized something. He raised his eyebrows and said in a low voice, "Don't tell me you like." "Shut up." Without waiting for Lin Ge to finish, Bai Xiaoya glared at him. Nothing good comes out of a dog's mouth. The military had intervened, and there were so many of them. Each of them was an expert from the special forces. Wei Yishan couldn't help but look at Su Yun in a new light. This kid was not as simple as he thought. Wei Yishan was afraid that he couldn't do anything about Randolph. Wei Yishan was friends with Randolph, but he wouldn't give up everything just because of that. Manager Su, this time I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please give me a straight answer. Wei Yishan turned to Su Yun. He had already expressed his goodwill, and now he wanted to see what Su Yun would do. If Su Yun didn't want to let Bai Xiaoya go, then they would fight to the death. If Su Yun didn't care and let Bai Xiaoya go, then there was no need for them to stay and cause trouble. Su Yun understood why Wei Yishan wanted him to say something. It was to express his opinion. He smiled. Lord Zeng, there's a saying that goes, no discord, no concord. As far as I know, you've met old Master Zhang a few times before. You didn't give him face today, so as his godson, I shouldn't let you go. At this moment, Wei Yishan's expression was already very ugly. He knew that Su Yun only said such words because he was confident and certain. But as a junior, I have to give face to my godfather, even though he has already gone to see the King of Hell. Su Yun. I'll pretend that nothing happened today. Lord Zeng, as a junior, I've done enough, right? Enough. I appreciate it. Wei Yishan waved his hand and said to his subordinates, let's go. Randolph couldn't sit still anymore. He quickly stepped forward and said, Mr. Wei, what do you mean? You can't leave me here because of such a small matter, right? Godfather, you've seen what's going on. We're friends, but I can only do what I can for you in Huaxia. If I can't do it, then there's nothing I can do. Wei Yishan said, I'm sorry. See you again. Is this the so-called loyalty of Huaxia people? Naturally, Randolph wasn't satisfied with Wei Yishan's decision to retreat. He roared, I was wrong to have trusted you. Xiong Feng heard Randolph yelling at Wei Yishan. He didn't need to be polite to Randolph anymore. He stepped forward and cursed. Why didn't you tell me earlier that the kid has a military background? You're the one who set us up. No matter what, Wei Yishan must be preparing to retreat. Su Yun must have his own reasons for leaving him a way out. After all, Wei Yishan had more than 10 experts with him. If they retreat, then Randolph might not be able to escape from Su Yun's hands. Chapter 1175. Su Yun did ask Wei Yishan to leave with his men, but the brothers of the Dragon Fury team who were guarding the entrance of the warehouse weren't as easy to talk to as their boss. Yanlong, Wei Yishan, it's our boss who said so today. Otherwise, you know what would have happened. Qianfeng said bluntly. We don't care whether you are a Jianghuai giant or not. We also don't care how much prestige and face you, Mithriya Buddha, have in the underground world. You know very well whether we dare to touch you or not. If Qianfeng and the others weren't from the military, Wei Yishan would have glared at them and ordered his men to attack them. However, he really didn't dare to do so now. He dared to provoke people from the underground world, but he really didn't dare to provoke people from the special forces. If he could bear with it, he would. If he really provoked them, he was afraid that it wouldn't be so easy to solve. People from the underground world absolutely didn't want to provoke people from the military. Who do you think you are? Be more polite when you talk to Lord Zeng. Xiong Feng had been suppressed by Su Yun just now, so he was already angry. When he saw Qianfeng daring to point at Wei Yishan, of course he couldn't control his emotions. If you have the guts, go out and fight with me one-on-one. Fight your ass. Hua Xiaolu spat and directly slapped his face. If our boss didn't hold back just now, you would have been King kneeling. You should know how to behave. Xiongfeng really couldn't stand this provocation. He clenched his fists, and a wave of anger rushed to the top of his head. He wanted to fight. Today I will let all of you die in. Enough! Wei Yishan angrily rebuked and swallowed back Xiongfeng's unfinished words. Today's matter ends here. Everyone listen clearly. I, Wei Yishan, have never come to Qingdao today. If you have anything to say, go back first. Xiongfeng, let's go. Xiongfeng almost choked to death, but since Lord Zeng had spoken, he could only admit defeat. At this time, Lin Ge and Bai Xiaoye had already untied Ruan Qingshuang and the others. Other than Fang Ye, who was still in shock, the others felt much better. Even Guogua didn't feel wronged and just quietly snuggled up to Ruan Qingshuang. Let Buddha Wei go. Take it as though nothing happened today. In the future, we will mind our own business. Su Yin said, Lord Zeng, take care. Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu, who were blocking the entrance, reluctantly stepped aside. Wei Yishan turned around and cupped his fists. Boss Su, you're open-minded. You'll definitely achieve great things in the future. Thank you for today. Lord Zeng, you are too polite. If you come to Guqin Island again, I will treat you well. Su Yin was just being polite. Let's part ways here. Wei Yishan led the way through the space between Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu. Xiongfeng followed closely behind. When he reached the two of them, he even glared at them fiercely. If boss hadn't spoken, Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu definitely wouldn't have let this bear walk out. Just as Wei Yishan's departure attracted everyone's attention, Randolph's subordinate, Sydney, suddenly attacked by Xiaoye. He wouldn't let his godfather be in danger. If they didn't have any bargaining chips, they might not be able to walk out today. Right now, Bai Xiaoye was the closest target. If the little girl wasn't so far away, his target would definitely be little Guogua. Sydney was indeed an expert in the Western boxing world. After joining the Gambino family, he had contributed greatly to Randolph's side. His experience in dangerous situations was richer than anyone else's. Moreover, he had a sharp sense of smell and could accurately grasp the fleeting opportunity to turn danger into safety. Sydney's explosive power came too suddenly. Bai Xiaoye didn't have much combat experience to begin with. When Wei Yishan retreated, she completely let down her guard, thinking that victory was already in their hands. Therefore, when Sydney suddenly attacked, Bai Xiaoye was not prepared at all. As Sydney's speed was too fast, even Su Yin and Lin Ge, who were closer to Bai Xiaoye, couldn't save her in time. However, the world was full of surprises. Since it was called an accident, it had to be something unexpected. No one expected Song Qingzhu to help Bai Xiaoye a third time. This time, he didn't expect Sydney to attack, so he could only use his body to block the attack. When Sydney saw Song Qingzhu foiling his plan again, his anger was self-evident. The palm that was originally meant to grab Song Qingzhu instantly turned into a heavy punch. He didn't hesitate at all as he punched Song Qingzhu's chest. The destructive power of a terrifying Western boxer's punch was unpredictable. Although Song Qingzhu was prepared to use his qi to protect his body, he was still sent flying several meters away. He spat out a mouthful of blood more than a meter away. One could imagine how powerful Sydney's punch was. When Su Yin and Lin Ge saw this, they rushed forward. Before Sydney had the chance to attack Bai Xiaoye again, they forced him back with a few moves. Randolph's subordinates couldn't hold back either. However, Dragon's Fury had so many brothers here. They weren't to be trifled with. Which one of them wasn't a super expert? Although the battle seemed chaotic, the outcome of the battle was decided in an instant. Randolph's subordinates were no match for Dragon Fury team. Even if Wei Yishan stepped forward to help him, the two sides would at most be tied. However, Wei Yishan had made it very clear that he had no intention of getting involved in this mess. A one-sided battle was inevitable. Everyone saw how Song Qingzhu blocked the punch for Bai Xiaoye. Wei Yishan frowned. This brat must be out of his mind. Xiongfeng's mouth twitched. He was already unhappy with Song Qingzhu when he tried to stop him. Now Song Qingzhu blocked Sydney's attack twice. This time, Song Qingzhu even foolishly played with his own life. He must be crazy. Qingzhu, let's go, Wei Yishan said and walked out without looking back. He didn't even think about Song Qingzhu's injuries. If Song Qingzhu could stand up, he might leave with Wei Yishan. After all, this place didn't need him anymore. However, at this moment he couldn't stand up. The feeling of his heart almost being separated from his body made his ears ring. It was extremely painful. How are you? Bai Xiaoye was the only one who came to Song Qingzhu's side. She knew better than anyone that if it wasn't for Song Qingzhu, she wouldn't know what would happen to her. Are you crazy? You don't have to worry about me. Song Qingzhu was already like this, but she still managed to force a smile. Since ancient times, heroes have always known how to take care of women, he. You think you're a hero? Hey, don't scare me. Before Bai Xiaoye could finish, Song Qingzhu laughed and fainted. Her mind went blank. Hero, wake up. You're a hero, right? Don't die. With the addition of the Dragon Fury team, Su Yin was like a tiger that had grown wings. He quickly subdued all of Randolph's subordinates. Sydney had been beaten up by him and Lin Ge. He had fainted on the ground, and it felt like he could not even breathe. Of course, Song Qingzhu was also in a bad state after taking a punch from Sydney. Fortunately, his face wasn't disfigured. On the other hand, Sydney's face was so swollen that even Randolph couldn't recognize him. Randolph looked at his subordinates and knew that he had lost. He couldn't believe that Su Yin was from Huaxia's military. How can you be from the military? You. Chapter 1176. Wei Yishan left the warehouse at Pier 5 with a belly full of anger. If it weren't for the military, he definitely wouldn't have let Su Yin go. Even if he was Zhang Yiji's godson, Zhang Yiji was already dead. There was no need to give him any face. Lord Zeng, are we just going to let this matter go? Xiongfeng wouldn't let it go so easily. His current mood was like the face of the clown Gu Lin. It was terrible. Yes, Lord Zeng. We can't just let them ride on our heads and shit, right? Gu Lin's words were even more disgusting. He had no way to vent his anger, so he could only make Wei Yishan angry and take revenge. Wei Yishan glared fiercely at Gu Lin. Then I'll leave this matter to you. Do you know the consequences of offending the military? Do you think I don't want to tear that bastard into pieces? But you have to consider the consequences. Now that we're doing this, we're openly provoking the military. Xiongfeng suddenly understood and nodded. Lord Zeng, I understand. You mean after this matter is over, we'll find another opportunity? Yes. We'll set them up. Gu Lin was excited when he heard this. Am I Wei Yishan, the kind of villain who sets people up behind their backs? Wei Yishan snorted. I'm not setting them up. I'm just settling accounts. Today they severely humiliated me. I'll definitely find a chance to get back at them. Otherwise, if word gets out, how can I, Wei Yishan, stand in society in the future? Xiongfeng supported all of Wei Yishan's decisions. That's right. We can't let them get away with it. Lord Zeng's reputation is the most important. While they were talking, Wei Yishan had already brought his men to the parking lot. A looming figure flashed like a ghost. Wei Yishan and the others immediately broke out in a cold sweat. When they took a closer look, it was actually a living person. A woman's back was facing them. They were all people in the underground world. Everyone knew what it meant to leave one's back to others. Therefore, the woman in front of them either didn't understand this principle and wasn't in the same circle, or she was confident enough that even if her back was exposed, she wasn't afraid that someone would dare to touch her. Who are you? Gu Lin stepped forward and questioned. The woman didn't turn around and said casually, Wei Yishan, tell your disgusting subordinate to scram to the side. Wei Yishan. She actually dared to call him by his name. Xiongfeng raised his eyebrows and shouted angrily. Who do you think you are? Do you think you can call Lord Zeng's name so casually? However, Wei Yishan's expression changed drastically. This woman's voice was too familiar. Could it be? Who do you think you are? You are not qualified to talk to me. The woman suddenly turned her head, and the silent pressure that burst out from her body instantly made everyone, including Wei Yishan, shiver. Xiongfeng was shocked. This was not the pressure of an ordinary expert. This was the imposing manner of a king. This woman was definitely not an ordinary person. Empress. Wei Yishan's eyes were filled with disbelief. Why would Zhuo Lingyue suddenly appear here? They didn't have any grievances, nor did they have any interactions. They couldn't even be considered as friends. Zhuo Lingyue's gaze was like lightning as it swept through everyone present. No one could look at her with the majesty of a ruler. Hearing how Wei Yishan addressed this woman, Xiongfeng suddenly realized that he had spoken without thinking. The person he spoke rudely to was actually Empress Zhuo Lingyue, a sky-profound realm expert who no one dared to offend in the underground world. Compared to Zhuo Lingyue, he Xiongfeng was just trash. If Zhuo Lingyue wanted to kill him, it would be as easy as pinching an ant to death. They weren't on the same level at all. Not to mention that Xiongfeng wasn't on the same level. Even Wei Yishan, who had broken through to the earth-profound realm, was nothing in front of Zhuo Lingyue. Oh, it seems like you still remember me. Zhuo Lingyue didn't have any friendship with Wei Yishan, but they had met on the anniversary of the founding of Sky Entertainment Group. However, that was a long time ago. Wei Yishan couldn't believe that this woman was actually as young as she was so many years ago. He couldn't see any change in her age at all. Empress, why are you here? Wei Yishan asked cautiously. Why are you looking for me? Of course. Zhuo Lingyue said coldly. Why would I look for you if there's nothing important? Who do you think you are? Do you have such a big face? If someone dared to talk to Wei Yishan like this on a normal day, Xiongfeng would have already become angry. However, he didn't dare to say a single word now. He didn't know if it was because he didn't dare to, but under Zhuo Lingyue's pressure, he didn't dare to say anything disrespectful. Wei Yishan also didn't dare to refute. That is, I think you're tired of living. You dare to provoke anyone. Zhuo Lingyue suddenly emitted a murderous aura from her pressure. This murderous aura was so cold that it could penetrate one's bones. Wei Yishan's Adam's apple moved. Su Yan not only had a military background, he also had a big backer like Zhuo Lingyue. Randolph, you've really screwed your father over. One must know that he, Wei Yishan, would rather lose face than offend the military. However, he would rather offend the military than offend Zhuo Lingyue. Now because of this matter, he had offended both sides. How could he, Wei Yishan, survive in the future? Empress, please listen to my explanation. I was entrusted by someone. I don't know. Other than apologizing and explaining, Wei Yishan really didn't know what else he could do. If you're a man, you'll have the courage to own up to your actions. Zhuo Lingyue said coldly, live with some dignity. Wei Yishan swallowed his saliva. Live with some dignity. He had always lived with dignity. However, in front of you, the Empress, what dignity did he dare to have? His life was more important. Seeing that Wei Yishan couldn't even speak, Zhuo Lingyue turned to look at his number one subordinate, Xiongfeng, and said, you actually dared to kill my beloved disciple. Unforgivable. Do you want to do it yourself or do you want me to do it? Xiongfeng wanted to refute, but the other party's aura was too strong. I can't let Su Yun kill me. I was just defending myself. I wasn't talking about Su Yun. Zhuo Lingyue snorted. Since you are so arrogant, you will die sooner or later. You might as well help yourself today. If it wasn't Su Yun, then it meant that her beloved disciple was that woman named by Xiaoya. Xiongfeng was enlightened. Zhuo Lingyue naturally wouldn't admit that Bai Xiaoya was her daughter. There were many reasons for this, and there were some things that couldn't be said. Wei Yishan also finally understood why the Empress came out to make things difficult for him. It was all because of Xiongfeng's impulsiveness. Fortunately, Song Qingzhu stopped him. Otherwise, who knew what irreparable thing would have happened? However, Wei Yishan was sure of one thing. If Zhuo Lingyue wanted him dead, he wouldn't be able to see the sun of the next day. Suddenly, Wei Yishan made his move. Of course, he didn't dare to do anything to Zhuo Lingyue. His iron eagle claw, which had reached the 8th layer, was definitely not to be trifled with. He easily crushed Xiongfeng's head. During the entire process, Xiongfeng didn't even have the chance to react. Even until the moment of his death, he still couldn't believe that Zeng would kill him. After all, he had been loyal and devoted for so many years. Wei Yishan also felt heartache. He also didn't want to do this. However, he had no choice. Xiong Feng wouldn't do it himself. Rather than letting Zhuo Yue do it, he might as well do it himself. At least, he could leave Xiong Feng's corpse intact. Seeing this scene, Wei Yishan's subordinates all sucked in a breath of cold air. Wasn't Zeng a little too ruthless this time? He didn't show any mercy at all. Empress, are you satisfied now? Wei Yishan said. My men did something wrong. I will personally clean them up. Humph. Zhuo Yue sneered. Wei Yishan, you better remember this. Don't have any crooked thoughts about them. In the eyes of others, you are the Maitreya Buddha, revered by all. However, I know very well what kind of character you are. If you don't want to die, you better remember what I said today. Chapter 1177. Inside the warehouse, everyone felt a terrifying pressure. Although the pressure only lasted for a short moment, it still made everyone in the warehouse feel quite threatened. Hua Leitang and Han Zhan were the first to rush out to investigate. However, they discovered that the aura had already dissipated. Not far away, Wei Yishan, who had lost a great general, was immersed in endless grief and anger. The dead are gone. Lord Zeng, we know you had no choice. Gu Lin was comforting Wei Yishan. He knew that Lord Zeng's mood was worse than his face. What kind of big shot was it that could make Wei Yishan lose his temper after losing his first general? Hua Leitang and Han Zhan had a rough idea of who it was even if they didn't see it. Inside the warehouse, Bai Xiaoye could guess who it was even if she didn't go out. Humph, since you chose to run away, why do you still have to do this? Hypocrite. Su Yin quickly guessed who it was from Bai Xiaoye's expression and the eyes of the two people who came back. It seemed that he was fated to be blessed by the heavens today. Even if the Brothers of Dragon's Fury didn't come out, Wei Yishan wouldn't be able to take advantage of him or hurt Bai Xiaoye. His injuries are very serious. We have to think of a way to save him. Bai Xiaoye frowned. She didn't want to think about those things that annoyed her. Qianfeng glanced at the dying Song Qingzhu. When did Song Qingzhu join Wei Yishan? Phew, since he's Wei Yishan's man, let Lord Zeng take him away. Save him? Where are we going to save him? I have to save this person. Bai Xiaoye was very determined. After all, Song Qingzhu had saved her from danger 3 times. Everyone had seen it. Qianfeng pursed his lips. He couldn't make a decision on this matter. It was better to leave it to his boss. Lin Ge had already stepped forward to help Bai Xiaoye support Song Qingzhu. Although this guy was on the opposite side, his brain seemed to have been caught by a door. He had helped them time and time again. Even though Lin Ge had suffered a loss at his hands earlier, he didn't care. He believed that Su Yin wouldn't let this go. Pigeon, bring him back and settle him down. I will think of a way to save him. Su Yun's words reassured Bai Xiaoye. Chou Yun didn't say anything. She stepped forward and silently helped. She had matured a lot now. Most of the time, she wouldn't rely on her own willfulness to do what she wanted to do. She would make decisions based on the situation. For example, today, since Su Yin said that Wei Yishan's people should leave, she didn't consider taking revenge on Gu Lin. With her strength, she wouldn't lose to Gu Lin. However, when she fought today, her whole body was sore and weak. She couldn't muster up any energy at all. Big sister Shuang, you and Guogua go back with them first. I will go back as soon as I'm done here, Su Yin said. Then we'll go back and wait for you. Wan Qingxuang nodded obediently. Bai Xiaoye also said, then hurry up. Don't let this guy wait for his death. She pointed at Song Qingzhu. Although Song Qingzhu was seriously injured, he felt that it was worth it to be able to gain the concern of a beauty. Su Yin nodded. He took out the car keys and handed it to Bai Xiaoye, telling her not to worry. Seeing this, Lin Ge also handed the keys to his car, which was parked on the other side of the dock, to Su Yin. He also told Su Yin where the car was parked. Everyone quickly left. Why are you here? Su Yin was puzzled. Orders from the chief? Yes. Hua Leitang said. The chief said that the people you offended are not good people. They will definitely take revenge very quickly. So he asked us to follow you secretly. If anything happens, we will be able to help you in time. Su Yin nodded. You don't have to be so secretive. You're not strangers to me. Even I didn't know you were here. If I knew you were here, I wouldn't have played with them like this today. If I had prepared earlier, Wei Yishan wouldn't have been able to walk out so openly. It's not that we don't want to tell you. Han Zhan smiled helplessly. The chief wants to save face. Although he's sure that these people will take revenge quickly, he's afraid that he'll lose face if he guesses wrong. So he doesn't want us to be exposed. Only when you're in danger that you can't deal with will we be exposed. That's what the chief means. If you weren't in danger today, we wouldn't have come out. Qianfeng said. The chief is very serious. We will only show up at the most critical moment. Su Yin understood. In fact, it wasn't that Wan Guangxiao wanted to save face. He just didn't want to be involved in these troublesome matters. If they took action and captured Randolph, how to deal with him would be a problem. It would be better to just throw him to Su Yin. He could kill him or torture him as he pleased. With these people's situation, it's meaningless to hand them over to the police. Since you're here, you should think of a way to take him away. Su Yin smiled. The chief doesn't want to get involved in this trouble. I don't want to either. It's easier for you to deal with it than for me. Hua Leitang smiled helplessly. The chief is really wise. He told me before we came that he knew you would say this to us. A father knows his son best. We grew up under the chief's watch. It's normal for the chief to know what kind of person our boss is. Han Zhan smiled as well. Boss will take them away and deal with them. If we can prevent them from leaving, we definitely won't let them leave. Tell the chief that this person can do a lot of things. Su Yin smiled evilly. Even if he's not in New York, he can control the Gambino family, which is the largest of the 5 great families. Even the American government made use of them to find information about Matthew. I think it's not too much for us to make use of him to get some information, right? Everyone smiled knowingly. This was not a random spy operation. If the other party was willing to talk, the mouth was on the other party's mouth. They could not block their ears 24 hours a day. Even if they heard anything, there was no other way. Boss, you're still the worst. Hua Xiaolu said. Before we leave, I have something to tell you. Beautiful Sis said that you left a personal item in her dormitory. When you have time, remember to go back and get it from her. Everyone kicked up a fuss and asked Su Yin what personal item he had left behind. Was it underwear or something else? Su Yin kicked this group of people away, before leaving the warehouse at Pier 5. He went to the place Ling Gu had told him to drive back. He did not know if the guy who had been punched by Sydney was dead or not. As long as he could hold on for half an hour, he would not die. If he could not even hold on for half an hour, even if he was a god, he would not be able to save him. This was an injury to the heart meridian, not an internal injury. This injury also required the victim's desire to live. Most of the time under such serious injuries, the desire to live was a miraculous elixir. As long as the injured had the desire to live, then there would be a chance to save them. In this half an hour, Su Yin wanted to see Song Qingzhu's desire to live. If his desire to live was not strong, there would be no point in saving him. It would be a waste of energy. However, Song Qingzhu did not disappoint Su Yin. When Su Yin rushed back, not only was this guy not dead, but he was also much calmer than before. This guy was not simple. He could still calmly wait for a chance to live when his life was hanging by a thread. Interesting. Brother, why are you only back now? Hurry up and see if he can be saved. Bai Xiaoya was the person who did not want Song Qingzhu to die the most. She did not want to bear such a sin. After all, this person was injured to save her. Chapter 1178. I have a Dragon Gall healing pill here. Feed it to him with warm water first. Su Yin passed a green porcelain bottle to Bai Xiaoya. Wait for the pill to take effect in half an hour. Leave the rest to me. Bai Xiaoya took the pill. Although she had grown up with Zuoleng Yue and had seen all kinds of pills, she was still shocked by the pill that Su Yin took out. It was definitely not an ordinary pill. As the #1 expert in the underground world, how could Zuoleng Yue not be proficient in alchemy? Bai Xiaoya had heard from her that the Gentian Meridian pill could only be made with the flowers and fruits of Putuwa goose ear. Otherwise, the effects of the various rare and precious herbs in the Gentian Meridian pill could not be combined into one. The fruit of Putuagelsemium was too precious. It was a deciduous tree that only existed in Huaxia. There was only one Putuagelsemium in the entire Huaxia. It was located on the west side of the Huiji Temple on Putuafoding Mountain, and it was definitely a protected plant in the country. Although a large number of saplings of Putuagelsemium had been bred through technology and saved it from extinction, only the fruit of Putuagelsemium that grew naturally had the value of being used as medicine. The ones cultivated by humans were nothing compared to it. Moreover, refining the dragon gall healing pill was definitely not something that an ordinary person could do. Bai Xiaoye even suspected that Zhuo Lingyue might not be able to refine it. Of course, this pill was not refined by Su Yun. It was given to him by Wu Qiuzi to save his life. When Wu Qiuzi gave him this pill, she said that unless his heart meridians were severely damaged and he could die if he did not treat it in time, he should not use it. He did not have any more fruits from the Putuagus ear stalactite to refine this treasure. Su Yun knew very well that if Wu Qiuzi said that it was a treasure, it would definitely be a rare treasure. If he was willing to give it to an outsider, he might regret it later. Brother, did you say that this is the dragon gall healing pill that was refined with the fruit of Putuagelsemium? Lin Ge was in disbelief. Is this guy's life power worth the pill? Brother, isn't this inappropriate? Those who did not know the value of this item might not think much of it, but those who knew the value of this item would definitely think that it was not worth it. Even Bai Xiaoye, who was eager to save people, hesitated. If I say it's worth it, it's worth it. Su Yin. To put it bluntly, I'm not willing to take out this pill to save people. Although Song Qingzhu helped us, he's still one of Wei Yishan's people. I have no obligation to save him. I just don't want my sister to feel uneasy for the rest of her life, because of his death. Su Yun's medicine wasn't to save Song Qingzhu, but Bai Xiaoye. If Song Qingzhu really died because of this, Bai Xiaoye would definitely feel guilty for the rest of her life. Su Yun had experienced this kind of torture before, so he didn't want Bai Xiaoye to feel the same kind of pressure. It was worth it for Su Yun to spend the pill so that Bai Xiaoye wouldn't have to worry about it for the rest of her life. Brother, thank you. Bai Xiaoye was so touched that she didn't know what to say. After Song Qingzhu consumed the pill that was more valuable than his life, color returned to his face very soon. Under the effect of the pill, Song Qingzhu's heart meridian was soon stabilized. Of course, this was only stabilizing. If he wanted to recover as soon as possible, Su Yun still needed the help of silver needles and true qi. Since Su Yun couldn't be disturbed during this process, everyone cooperated and left to give Su Yun some space to complete the treatment. Moreover, it was getting late, and everyone was more or less in shock, so they should rest early. Su Yun was worried that Song Qingzhu's ability was too high, so he asked Lin Ge to stay and help. Bai Xiaoye volunteered, but when she heard that she had to remove Song Qingzhu's clothes and insert needles into 188 acupuncture points, she gave the opportunity to Lin Ge. That night, Su Yun and Lin Ge didn't sleep at all. They spent a total of 4 hours to pull Song Qingzhu back from the gates of hell. Bai Xiaoye didn't sleep at all. She stood guard at the door. If this person couldn't be saved, she wouldn't be able to sleep at all. Su Yun and Lin Ge worked the whole night and were drenched in sweat. They circulated their true qi and meditated for a long time before they recovered their true qi and stamina. At this time, the sky was starting to brighten. Song Qingzhu opened his eyes. His qi and blood were flowing smoothly, as if he had been reborn. Even though he was on the verge of death yesterday, his consciousness was still there. He knew that it was Su Yun's pill that was more valuable than his life that saved him. He also knew that it was all because of Bai Xiaoye. Otherwise he would have lost his life. The full-strength punch of an 8th-grade fighter was no joke. Song Qingzhu sat up on the bed. Seeing Su Yun and Lin Ge meditating, he didn't dare to disturb them. He waited until Su Yun and Lin Ge recovered their true qi and stamina, before he coughed lightly to indicate that he was awake. Oh, not bad. You recovered quickly. Su Yun was stunned. He thought that Song Qingzhu would sleep for at least another hour. Pigeon, go and call Xiaoye. Let her rest. No need. I'll be at the door. Bai Xiaoye, who was outside the door, heard the noise in the room. She said lightly, "It's good that he's not dead. I'm going to sleep." Then she left. Lin Ge shrugged and made a helpless expression. He said to Song Qingzhu, "You're lucky. If it wasn't for my brother and Bai Xiaoye, you would have already signed in at the King of Hell." Song Qingzhu smiled. He knew all this. "Brother Yin, I can't thank you enough. Qingzhu's life is worthless. I didn't expect you to do so much for me. You're like this because of Xiaoye." Su Yin waved his hand. "We don't owe each other anything. After all, you're Buddha-Wei's man. We don't share the same path." Song Qingzhu suddenly knelt in front of Su Yin. "Brother Yin, Wei Yishan and I are the ones who don't share the same path." "What do you mean?" Su Yin was stunned. This guy knelt too quickly. Lin Ge was shocked by Song Qingzhu's reaction. Was this guy's brain flooded? "When I was on the brink of death, you saved me. It has nothing to do with Wei Yishan," Song Qingzhu said. "I, Song Qingzhu, am a person who knows how to repay kindness. My life was given to me by you. So from now on it's yours. I will not hesitate to climb a mountain of blades or dive into a sea of fire." Su Yin hurriedly refused. No. I saved you because we owe you. Consider it as returning the favor. You don't owe us anything. You don't have to take it to heart. If you're fine, you can leave." "I'm going to die soon. I don't owe you anything," Song Qingzhu said. "Brother Yin, if you don't accept me, I'll kneel for a long time." "This guy is really, then kneel." Su Yin said, "We're all tired. It's time to go back and sleep. When you're tired, you can leave. I won't ask you to stay for dinner. Go out and turn left. There's a famous restaurant 500 meters away. It's called Fried Dumplings. It's very affordable." Su Yin turned and left. He didn't give Song Qingzhu a chance to speak. Lin Ge also ran out after Su Yin. He even stuck out his tongue. This guy was too ridiculous. Su Yin believed that with Song Qingzhu's personality, he would leave soon. He didn't expect Song Qingzhu to owe him anything. He just wanted to help Bai Xiaoye repay this favor. Chapter 1179. However, no one would have thought that there would always be evil people. Song Qingzhu, this brat, actually knelt down and did not get up. Su Yin slept for 5 hours and Song Qingzhu knelt there for 5 hours. No one could pull him up. He was determined. Unless Su Yin agreed to let him stay, he would kneel until he died. Lin Ge coaxed and lied, coerced and bribed. He used all kinds of tricks, but Song Qingzhu didn't listen to him. She was stubborn. Bai Xiaoye was puzzled. She felt that this guy was not so stubborn and decided to talk to him personally. "If you really want to kneel like this, no one will stop you. However, this room is not a place where you can stay as you wish." Bai Xiaoye said angrily, "If you really want to kneel and prove your sincerity, no problem. Go out and kneel for as long as you want. No one will disturb you. Do you think I will leave if you provoke me like this?" Song Qingzhu looked up at Bai Xiaoye. "I am serious. I am not joking." "But we're not joking with you." Bai Xiaoye was speechless. "You saved me, and I owe you a favor. We also saved your life, so we are even. What else do you want? No one said that if we save you once, we have to take care of you for the rest of your life." Song Qingzhu was very serious. "I don't need to be taken care of. After I follow Brother Yin, I will work for him. No matter what it is, as long as he asks me to do it, I will do it. He gave me my life. I owe him a life. If I don't repay him like this, I will not be able to answer to myself." "Who asked you to answer to yourself? Are you crazy?" Bai Xiaoye could not communicate with him. "What do you think you can do if you stay? We don't need you." Song Qingzhu shook his head. "Maybe we don't need me for the rest of our lives, but if we do, I promise Brother Yin will not regret it." Bai Xiaoye looked at Song Qingzhu with disdain. "Can you block a bullet for him or take a knife for him?" "Mr. Song Qingzhu, since you can't do anything, then don't shamelessly stay here. You're really annoying. No matter what you say, as long as Brother Yin doesn't chase me away, I won't leave." After Song Qingzhu finished speaking, she felt that what she said was wrong, so she added, "Even if you chase me away, I won't leave." If it weren't for the girl's modesty, Bai Xiaoya would have scolded him for being shameless. Why was there no end to this? Su Yun, who had finally woken up, received the news from Lin Ge. He washed his face and walked over. When he pushed open the door, he happened to hear the conversation between the two. Su Yun was really quite surprised. Why was this brat so dead set on it? If you really want to stay, then do something for me. Su Yun. If you do it well, I'll let you work for me. If you can't do it well, then I'm sorry. Brother Yin, even if you ask me to take Wei Yishan's head, I won't hesitate, Song Qingzhu said seriously. Even if I do it well, it's fine if you don't want me to work for you. Really, it doesn't matter. Why are you like Lu Bu? You just acknowledged him as your master, but you don't even blink when you kill him. I'm afraid no one would dare to keep someone like you, right? Su Yun smiled slightly. Song Qingzhu, do you know why people call you the Army Destroyer? The Army Destroyer is a suicide squad in the army. It's the vanguard, the type that charges and breaks through enemy lines. Its purpose is to fight and destroy, but it's also very dangerous. It's inevitable to lose soldiers and generals. Not everyone wants a double-edged sword like you. Song Qingzhu didn't say anything. He understood what Su Yun meant. If Su Yun continued, he would also understand. You do things your own way. You like the new and hate the old. You're stubborn and rebellious. You're not easy to cooperate with. Also, you're very inflexible. Whenever you encounter something, you refute it. Su Yun. Am I right? Bai Xiaoya rolled her eyes. You have so many personality flaws. A person like you is only suitable to live alone. Really? Song Qingzhu grinned awkwardly. No way. I don't have so many personality flaws, right? Brother Yin, you're making me want to commit suicide. I don't have the courage to live anymore. Let's talk about serious matters. What do you want me to do for you to accept me? It's very simple. You don't have to kill people or set fires. What I want you to do is to find a reason to convince me, Su Yun said. What I want you to do is to think of a way to make me accept you. Song Qingzhu almost choked when he heard this. Isn't this too much of a burden? Big brother Yin, no? This. Even if I convince you and you're convinced, who am I going to look for to comment on it? Song Qingzhu said. No, you have to find a fair way for me. Otherwise, I won't agree. There's only one way. If you don't think of a way, then leave. Su Yun was also very determined. Song Qingzhu felt like she was going to die of embarrassment. Aya. What can I say about this? Back then, my brother told me that people like me are marked by the company I keep. People like me tend to turn bad when I meet bad friends, but when I meet good friends, I can often bring out my strengths. I don't know if he's right or not. Today, I want to follow Brother Yin because I feel that I should believe my brother's words. Su Yin was stunned. This kid is quite understanding. What about your brother? You should really spend more time with him. You'll definitely be marked by the company you keep. I want to, but unfortunately he's dead, Song Qingzhu said and lowered his head. Su Yun was silent for a moment before saying, All right, stand up. If you don't accept me, I won't stand. Song Qingzhu was still stubborn. Aren't I asking you to stand? Su Yun said. Let's make things clear first. I gave you a chance. If I asked you to stand up, you wouldn't agree. Then you can kneel. No one will care about you. I don't want a cripple who only knows how to kneel. Song Qingzhu, a man's knees are gold. You've lived so long in vain. Brother Yin, what do you mean? Song Qingzhu was stunned. Then he was wild with joy. Brother Yin, if I stand up, it means that you'll accept me? Is that what you mean? Are you a pig? Bai Xiaoya was speechless. She didn't know why, but she didn't expect Su Yun to let this person stay. However, when Su Yun really did let this person stay, she felt relieved. Su Yun didn't wait for Song Qingzhu to finish his excitement and poured cold water on him. Let me say this first. I know what kind of person you are, Song Qingzhu. Everyone knows it too. If you stay, you'll develop in the red. If you lead me to the underworld, don't blame me for cleaning you up personally. If I dare to be disloyal, I'll do anything for you. Song Qingzhu pointed to the sky and swore. Bai Xiaoya looked at Song Qingzhu and then at Su Yun. Brother, What can he do if you want him to stay? Watch over the place, collect debts, collect protection fees, and stand around when he has nothing to do. These are all things he can do. Su Yun had arranged everything. Song Qingzhu was shocked. No way, brother. Only hooligans do these things. I can't. No, our Tianyu group doesn't have these kinds of jobs, right? Oh, you're quite familiar with us, Bai Xiaoye said. You just said "are" in a few sentences. Okay, what can you do? Ask Sister Shuang. She'll arrange it for you. The Qingdao Film and Television Plaza is so big. There must be a place for you to stay. Even if you're working in the logistics and sanitation department, they'll give you a tricycle with the words "Protect Purity" printed on it. Hearing that Su Yin had arranged a job for Song Qingzhu, Bai Xiaoye was anxious. What about me? What can I do? Sister Shuang said that you'll be her assistant in the future. Su Yin. After training you for 3 to 5 weeks, you can't just be an assistant. You'll have to carry the burden of a vice president too. Understand? Bai Xiaoye nodded. Since she was already in this society, she had to get used to it. She had to learn how to face it. Chapter 1180. There was no way that Randolph's failure in Huaxia could be kept a secret for long. The Gambino family was in a state of chaos, and a few of the more capable deputies started scheming against each other to rise to the top. In the end, the family was in a state of chaos. The other 4 great families in New York could no longer sit still. They took the opportunity to start taking over some of the industries that the Gambino family had been monopolizing for years. They took over many of the Gambino family's monopolized industries, causing the Gambino family to suffer a huge blow financially. The Gambino family had many members. Once they suffered a huge blow financially, most of the members would lose confidence in the family leader. It was inevitable that they would have thoughts of defecting. The logic behind this was very simple. It was like a gangster following a boss. If one day, the boss did not even have a place to collect protection fees from, where would the gangster go to get a commission? What would the gangster who could not get a commission eat? As the boss, it was impossible for the boss to provide for the gangster. People in the underworld did not get their money for free. It would be easier to survive if they followed a good boss who would give them face the moment the boss name was mentioned. Moreover, they had to have some skills. If they really met someone who did not respect them, they had to be able to fight ruthlessly. Only then would they be able to ensure that they would have enough to eat on this path. Right now, the members of the Gambino family were in an awkward situation. They could fight ruthlessly, but it was a pity that their reputable boss had died in Huaxia. Whether or not he could return was still a problem. Moreover, the few deputies were fighting openly and secretly. There was no way for them to join forces to fend off the other families. This meant that the family was in a dangerous situation and could collapse at any moment. Once the Gambino family collapsed, the members would jump ship and beg the other families to take them in. They would no longer have any value, and they would become the lowest level of people in the other families. They might as well take advantage of the fact that they were still useful. After being taken in by the other families, they could still provide some information that would be beneficial to the other families. They might even be able to make contributions and fight for more face in the gang in the future. The more this was the case, the more uncontrollable the Gambino family's collapse became. Even the American government did not expect that the Gambino family would become so weak because of this. They did not even need to do anything before they were swallowed up by the other 4 great families. In less than a month, the Gambino family had completely disappeared from the United States. The so-called 5 great families of New York had become the most glorious empty name outside of the 4 great families. Sidney was shot dead on the spot because he tried to kill the guards and rescue Randolph. The rest of the people who should surrender and plead guilty had plead guilty. Kidnapping in Huaxia was punishable according to Huaxia's law. Since Sidney's death, Randolph knew that there was nothing he could do. At the end of this trip to China, Randolph seemed to have realized something. He finally figured it out. This was what the U.S. government wanted. If Randolph could find the person they wanted, it would be the best outcome. However, if he didn't have the ability to create havoc in Huaxia, he would definitely suffer a setback. Once Randolph suffered a setback in Huaxia, the mafia family that gave them the most headaches would completely collapse. They would get the best outcome without having to spend a single soldier. The U.S. government's move could not be considered as killing two birds with one stone. However, he would definitely hit one of the two birds. No matter which one he hit, it would be beneficial to them. Randolph finally realized that he was just an arrow that the U.S. government was using. If he could shoot through the enemy's chest, he would be pulled out and thrown back into the quiver. If he did not hit the enemy, he would be mercilessly broken by the enemy, forever abandoned. Now, Randolph was like a broken and useless bow. He had no power to turn the situation around. The U.S. government's wishful thinking was going well. How could they not know about Su Yun's background? Ever since Kevin Matthews' incident, the U.S. government's research on Su Yun was even higher than that of many countries' leaders. Now, Su Yun's identity was completely exposed by the U.S. government's spies. In a secret office in the U.S. intelligence agency, Douglas pointed at a picture of Su Yun in camouflage on the big screen. He looked at his subordinates and said angrily, "Now all of you know how difficult it is to deal with this guy, right?" None of his subordinates responded. This was not the first time Douglas had asked them this serious question. This guy is Su Yun. His background is unknown. He grew up in the most powerful Special Operations Group in Huaxia, the Dragon Special Operations Group. It's not like our special forces haven't seen them before. Douglas slammed the table angrily. Especially the Dragon's Fury Special Forces team in the Mystical Dragon Brigade. Every 20 years, this Special Forces group will produce a batch of elite soldiers. Every single one of them is an elite. As he spoke, Douglas pointed at the big screen. Do you see this person? This guy is the elite soldier among the elite soldiers. He is the captain of the Dragon Fury Special Forces Group's Special Forces Group's Dragon Special Operations Group. He is also their doctor. His name is Yen Long. Yen Long. Sir, this group is not famous in the world, right? Someone boldly retorted. Not famous? Ha ha ha, then tell me what is famous. Douglas said angrily. Tell me. Ignited by Douglas's inexplicable anger, someone actually stood up and replied, "Reporting, sir. The most mysterious and intimidating special forces in the world is our Navy SEALs. Until now, very few people in the outside world know where the SEALs carry out their missions, where they train, etc. However, this mysterious force always appears when our great country needs them the most." Sir. As soon as the first person finished speaking, the second person stood up and added, "To join the SEALs, the students have to go through what is considered to be the most difficult and strict special military training in the world. Sometimes the training is a real battle. The students have to train their perseverance and teamwork ability under extraordinary circumstances. In the end, 70% of the students are eliminated. Becoming a member of the SEALs is the highest honor for an American soldier. There are only about 200 active SEALs in the entire American Army. They are all well-versed in both the pen and the sword, and have strong physiques. Sir. Ever since President Kennedy personally established the American Special Forces Group, the SEALs have become the legend of the Special Forces Group due to their outstanding performance in both missions and training. They have participated in almost every major modern war and military anti-terrorist incident. In the most recent anti-terrorist battle in Afghanistan, they eliminated hundreds of terrorists hiding in caves and in the dark. Only 4 SEALs were killed. It was obvious that these CIA agents were full of respect for their country's legendary Special Forces Group. After the 3 of them finished speaking one after another, Douglas's emotions calmed down a little. However, he still questioned all the CIA agents present with an unconvinced gaze. Who else has anything to add? Say it. Say what you think. Seeing that no one said anything, Douglas raised his voice. I will only give you this one chance. If you don't say it, then don't show that you are unconvinced later. Chapter 1181. The Delta Special Forces is our great motherland's #1 Special Forces Combat Detachment, an elite force. Although they haven't had any impressive battle achievements since their establishment, they are our country's anti-terrorist fist. They can deal with all kinds of terrorist activities that threaten America's interests worldwide. This is proof of their strength. There's also our SWAT anti-terrorist unit. They are also very powerful. Someone couldn't help but speak up. Douglas had already said that he would give them a chance to speak. If they didn't speak up now, they wouldn't be able to speak up later. Other than that, there were still people who were unconvinced. What right did Douglas have to say that a special forces unit that didn't have any significant international influence and reputation was awesome? Which game had their Dragon Brigade? In the Modern Warfare series of the Call of Duty game, there were Navy SEALs, Delta Force, United States Marine Corps, Russian Federal Guard Bureau, French Gendarmerie Special Forces, 141 Special Air Service Regiment, Rangers. In any case, there was no Huaxia Dragon Brigade, right? In the Black Ops series, there was also the United States Central Intelligence Agency. Sir, I think what they said is correct. Other than our country, I think there are many other countries whose special forces are stronger than this Dragon Brigade. For example, Germany's 9th Anti-Terrorist Brigade, France's National Gendarmerie Intervention Team. People were like that. Once someone took the lead, there would be an endless stream of them. There's also the United Kingdom's Special Air Service Regiment, Russia's Alpha Special Forces, Israel's Desert Boys Special Forces, Italy's Special Forces, Poland's Mobile Reaction Combat Unit. They are all well-equipped and well-trained special forces. They have all achieved impressive battle achievements in the history of the world. Yes. What does that Dragon Brigade have? This was what everyone was most unconvinced about. Finally, all the CIA agents finished expressing their opinions. Douglas's ears also quieted down. Douglas laughed coldly. Indeed, our United States SEAL, Germany's GSG-9, France's GIGN, and England's SAS have all left a mighty reputation in modern warfare. However, Huaxia Dragon Brigade doesn't. Do you know why? Everyone stared at Douglas's face, hoping to get a perfect reason from him. Because Huaxia is a country that doesn't participate in wars. Douglas said angrily. Their principle is that we won't attack unless we're attacked first. How could they arrange for their own special forces to participate in international disputes? If you want to do anything to their land, I dare you. Everyone raised their heads and waited for Douglas' explanation. The operations and missions that Huaxia's special forces have participated in are all top secret. They were all here to protect their homeland. As long as they refused to say anything, no one would know. If we hadn't infiltrated the CIA for so many years, we wouldn't even know that Huaxia has this Special Operations Group and Dragon's Fury, let alone the titles of each of them. After pausing for a moment, Douglas continued. You may not have heard of it, but I have. In some of the secret wars that took place at the border of Huaxia, their contributions were probably more than any other country's. These are all things you don't know. Sir, then why did you call us here today? Finally, someone was unhappy with Douglas's behavior of praising others while diminishing his own prestige. It can't be that you're just praising them, right? Of course not. Douglas sneered. I want you to know who the other party is so that you can't let your guard down. Do you know how much I've been scolded because of this person? The CIA agents didn't know how much Douglas had been scolded, but they knew how much they had been scolded. Douglas had already scolded them dozens of times. However, none of them expected this young man to have such a powerful background after their investigation. On the other hand, Douglas knew that Suyin wasn't easy to deal with, but he still sent Randolph to his death. This person's scheming mind was a little too heavy. Perhaps a lot of people thought that Randolph would be able to help us this time. When I reported this to the higher-ups, I also expressed this intention, Douglas said. But I know better than anyone else what the situation is. Before I sent Randolph to Huaxia, I already knew this person's identity. Randolph definitely won't be able to return from Huaxia. At this point, Douglas revealed a shameless smile for his own shrewdness. The government has been troubled by the Gambino family for so many years, but they never had a chance. They were also afraid that they would really cause a huge mess. Douglas sneered. But it's different now. Randolph has been defeated in Huaxia. None of this has anything to do with us. The 5 great families can create a ruckus as they wish. The bigger the ruckus, the more beneficial it is for us. Back then, in order to find Kevin Matthew, I tried my best to pardon all of Sydney's crimes. Do you think I was willing to do that? Sydney wouldn't be wronged even if he were to die 100 times for what he had done. Pardon him? Even if he hadn't been defeated in Huaxia together with Randolph, I would have thought of a way to kill him. As he spoke, Douglas suddenly realized that he seemed to have gone overboard with his emotions. He paused for a while and adjusted his breathing. This matter has already passed. I'm telling you because I want you to know that this Su Yun we're dealing with isn't a simple person. He's someone who can defeat Randolph. So, all of you better be on your guard. Sir, you mean what we need to do now is to deal with this young man from Huaxia called Su Yun? Someone finally understood. In other words, this person is directly related to Kevin Matthew? Douglas was very satisfied with his subordinate's reaction. Of course. I've also asked you to investigate this matter. Through the information you've given me, I've concluded that everything is related to this Su Yun. So, if we want to bring Kevin Matthew back to the country, we have to go through this person. Douglas turned around and looked at Su Yun's picture on the big screen. His smile became colder and colder. He couldn't wait to tear this guy into pieces right now. He wanted to let him know that the CIA wasn't something that could be stepped on by anyone. The 13 agents of the CIA sitting in this room weren't pushovers. They might be submissive in front of Douglas, but that was because of the relationship between their superiors and their subordinates. The relationship between superiors and subordinates in the CIA was very strict. Once these people left this room and started working, they would be the ones in charge. Sir, if you have any orders, just let us know. We'll do our best. You're my most trusted subordinates. I didn't want to involve so many people, but this time is different. We can only succeed in this mission. We can't fail, Douglas said. This doesn't just affect the reputation and prestige of the CIA. It also affects the safety of our country. Do you understand? Understood, sir. The 13 agents all stood up at the same time. Douglas was very satisfied. Then let's start recording all the information about this person. After saying that, Douglas pressed the remote control in his hand. The picture of Su Yun wearing a camouflage uniform with oil paint disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by a picture of him in a suit at the opening ceremony of the Sky Entertainment Group's film and television base. Chapter 1182. At the long conference table, a calm curly-haired man sitting closest to Douglas looked at Su Yun's picture on the big screen and said slowly, "Sir, this person is from the Huaxia military. How can he be the boss of an entertainment company? Is there some kind of misunderstanding here?" "There won't be a misunderstanding." Douglas pointed at Su Yun's eyes and said, "Look at this pair of eyes. Aren't they the same as the eyes in the picture just now? Aries, you should know that there are no two leaves in the world that look exactly the same." The calm curly-haired man called Aries nodded. The burly bald man opposite him agreed with Douglas's words. "Yes, I, Taurus, absolutely agree with this. There are people in the world who look very similar, but there is absolutely no one who can even imagine a god. Just like leaves, they can grow to be the same size and shape, but they can grow to be the same without any texture." After saying that, Taurus, who thought he made a lot of sense, looked at the others for agreement. Finally, his eyes fell on Gemini. There were 13 of the 12 heavenly stars, and the reason was Gemini. Gemini, twin brothers. They were almost carved from the same mold, but the look in their eyes was completely different. One was full of shrewdness and bravery, while the other was full of ruthlessness and caution. Their personalities were also completely different. Under the guidance of Taurus's gaze, everyone's eyes focused on Gemini. Even Capricorn, who didn't like Gemini, looked up. Sure enough, one had to admit that these two people who looked exactly the same could easily distinguish who was the elder brother and who was the younger brother. This person's identity is probably not just this one, right? Cancer couldn't help but ask. He felt that this opponent was more and more troublesome. Yes. Douglas pressed the remote control again, and the screen jumped to the next page. He also has a hotel in Xinjiang. This hotel is definitely one of the top 5-star hotels in Xinjiang. Sir, in that case, this guy is really quite powerful. I really can't wait to spar with him. Leo Star looked at Su Yun on the screen, his eyes blazing. His whole body exuded a strong desire to fight, as if he wanted to tear the screen apart in the next second. Don't be so confident. Overconfidence is arrogance. If you don't even have a detailed plan, we won't get any results even if we go. Balanced Star frowned and glanced at Virgo. Could it be that you already have a detailed plan? No. Even if she had a plan in her heart, she would never say it out loud. She believed that Douglas must have his own plan for them to execute. The Scorpio Star coldly said, I thought you had some plan. It doesn't matter. If we want to take action, it's not too late to start planning now. I support Virgo's point of view. Our opponent's background is complicated, and we do need a detailed plan. Otherwise, it will be difficult to take the initiative, Sagittarius said. Capricorn mockingly said to Sagittarius, what point of view does Virgo have that you don't support? Okay, let's not argue anymore. Listen to the Sir. It doesn't matter if we have a plan or not. The Sir will arrange it for us. Aquarius looked at Douglas with trust. He even pulled the arm of Pisces next to him, asking Pisces to support him. Pisces nodded and said lightly, yes, we will listen to the Sir. The 12 heavenly stars chattered for a while, and Douglas listened quietly. He let them express their thoughts as much as possible. If there were any major conflicts, they could be resolved now. This was better than letting them carry out such an important mission with such conflicts. Are you all done? Douglas slowly said. Everyone shut their mouths and focused their attention on Douglas. If you're done, then don't interrupt me, Douglas said. First of all, the plan for this mission has no plan. I want you to act according to the circumstances. Remember, our primary target is not this person. It is Kevin Matthew. We must not let Kevin Matthew help Huaxia develop a lethal weapon that can easily break through the defense system. As a last resort, even if we kill him, we cannot let Huaxia use him. Everyone nodded. Indeed, they had focused on Su Yun. They did not think that their goal was not Su Yun, but to find Kevin Matthew through Su Yun. Of course, if you can't achieve a breakthrough secretly, you must act according to the circumstances and use force, Douglas said. I know that it is difficult for you to reach a consensus on some things. After all, although the 12 heavenly stars are my strongest warriors, you rarely work together. However, for the benefit of our country, I hope that you can all make some concessions. Yes. The 12 heavenly stars answered very quickly. Douglas said, then I will divide you into 2 groups. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. You will be one group. Aries will be the leader for the time being. I hope the others can cooperate. Aries was very satisfied with this division of labor, but Leo seemed to have some objections. However, he did not say anything because Douglas said that this was temporary. If Aries' leadership was not good, then he would definitely have a chance to lead the first group. Of course, this was all for later. Leo's performance here was very obedient and did not put Douglas on the spot. Libra, Scorpio, Archer, Capricorn, Horizontal, and Pisces. You will be the second group, Douglas said. Libra will be the leader for the time being. If anyone has any objections, you can raise them now. If you agree, then cooperate well. Yes. Everyone's reply was very uniform. You are the most powerful force in the CIA. Ever since I took over here, you have been my most powerful weapon. You are invincible and invincible. Douglas made a final mobilization. Chapter 1183. Su Yun, who was far away in Xinjiang's Xinkai Hotel, sneezed a few times. F***CK. Su Yun rubbed his nose. Who's scolding me? Are you done yet? The past month had been really comfortable. Ever since the matter with Randolph was resolved, life had been smooth sailing. Not only was there no trouble, but he was also guaranteed to win the lottery. Compared to the days before when he couldn't even drink cold water, this was what life was like. In addition, Bai Xiaoya had also gradually adapted to life in Sky Entertainment. Under Ruan Qingshuang's guidance, Bai Xiaoya could easily become an excellent manager with her personality. Song Qingzhu, who stayed in Sky Entertainment, was also very quiet. She listened to everything Ruan Qingshuang said. If Ruan Qingshuang said 1, Song Qingzhu wouldn't dare to say 2. If Ruan Qingshuang asked Song Qingzhu to go east, Song Qingzhu wouldn't dare to go west. As for Gu Qia and Gu Guolong, Su Yin had already made arrangements for them. At Gu Guolong's age, he would definitely need some time to recuperate before he could recover. Hedong was a suitable place for him to recuperate. Tang Zhengdong was also there. After Su Yin contacted Tang Jiu, he asked Chang to go back to Hedong and find a place to live near Tang Zhengdong's place. Of course, with Chang's current status in Hedong, he didn't need to buy a house. He could live there for free without spending a single cent. There were many people who wanted to curry favor with him. These things weren't a problem at all. When school started, Guogua started living on campus again. Every Friday after school, Ruan Qingshuang would try her best to put aside her work in Qingdao and come to Xinjiang to visit her. Qin Wan'er's career could be described as a meteoric rise. Since she came to Xinjiang, she had solved several big cases. She had also been taught by Su Yun. She began to learn how to restrain her impulses. For someone like Qin Wan'er, who was capable and professional, once she learned how to control her emotions, she would grow very quickly. Within a short period of time, no one dared to whisper that she had used her connections to climb up the ranks so quickly. Qin Wan'er, who was swift and decisive, quickly won the respect and prestige that she deserved. In the short time she had been in Xinjiang, Qin Wan'er's fame had quickly increased. In the beginning, there were still people who wanted to take her down, but now, not many people dared to do so. Everyone knew that they couldn't afford to offend him. A doe who couldn't be helped, even if he had a backer, he still couldn't be helped. But if it weren't for a doe, who would dare to provoke him if he had a backer? Su Yin had also been running around this month. He and Ruan Qingshuang had been discussing something in Qingdao. They wanted to make a movie about Hua Xiao's Soldier King. In this regard, Su Yin had specially invited Hua Xiao's famous online author, Pen Spirit, to participate in their screenwriting. Su Yin strongly supported this author's idea. Su Yin believed that there would be no problems with the script. The casting had entered a relatively difficult stage. Sky Entertainment didn't lack domestic A-listers, but it was difficult to find someone who could match the main character's temperament. For a movie with a soldier king as the main character, it was indeed difficult to cast an actor. It wasn't that the actors in Hua Xia weren't professional enough and couldn't reflect the character. It was that this kind of character really needed some kind of experience to be reflected. It was just that it was difficult to use professional acting skills to show the essence of the character. To use an inappropriate analogy, it was difficult to draw the bones of a tiger but difficult to draw the bones. The principle was similar. The surface was easy to imitate, easy to express through professional acting skills, but the essence was lacking. In terms of choosing the male lead, they really put a lot of thought into it. For this reason, they specially chose a few A-listers who fit the image to undergo formal military training. Su Yin used his connections to contact a Xinjiang military special forces brigade training ground. This training ground had already been eliminated and hadn't had time to renovate it. The military leaders knew that Su Yin was Wan Guangxiao's man, so they gave him face and arranged for 2 proper special forces brigade instructors. Su Yin's goal wasn't to let these actors undergo training, but to let them truly experience this kind of feeling. After a day, no one could withstand it. Of course, this couldn't be blamed on them. After all, they were actors, not real special forces soldiers. It was normal that they couldn't withstand it. The female lead was easier to choose. Sky Entertainment didn't lack A-listers, nor did they lack A-listers who could create buzz. So even though there were more female leads, it was still easier to decide than male leads. Because the male lead wasn't finalized, Su Yin had a headache. But these were all small matters. Maybe if he slept tonight, everything would be settled tomorrow. The few sneezes just now made Su Yin more energetic. Just now he moved a little, did a few hundred push-ups, and was covered in sweat. Su Yin directly walked into the bathroom to take a shower. After taking a shower, Su Yin just came out wrapped in a towel, when he heard a knock on the door. Looking at the time, he made an appointment with Lin Ge to come to his room. He wanted to ask him how his relationship with Fang Ye had progressed. When a couple was in love with each other, everyone would give them their blessings. But boys always had to take the initiative. If it was really possible, as an older brother, Soo-yun would have to take on the responsibility of a parent. At least, he would take Ling-gu to Fangya's house to let her family rest assured. It had to be said that Soo-yun was really free now. Otherwise, he wouldn't have this kind of idea. You came early? Soo-yun opened the door without asking. But unexpectedly, the person at the door wasn't Ling-gu at all, but Ling Jiling. What the hell? Soo-yun was covered in cold sweat. Fortunately, he was wrapped in a towel, or else he would be naked. Sister Jiling, why is it you? Soo-yun didn't understand what was going on for a while. You're not welcome. Ling Jiling smiled. Soo-yun smiled slightly. Of course you're welcome. Please. After Ling Jiling entered the room, Soo-yun directly ran into the room. I'll go put on my clothes first. I just took a shower, hee. Just now you said you came early. Did you already have an appointment with someone? Ling Jiling asked tentatively. I didn't disturb you, right? That if it's not convenient, I can leave first. Taking a shower, making an appointment with someone, this idea was too direct. No, it's nothing. It's not inconvenient. Soo-yun. I said I'll let Pigeon report to me. Soo-yun put on his pants and walked out while putting on his shirt. At this moment, Ling-gu knocked on the door twice, called out brother, and directly pushed the door open. Ling-gu was a bit dumbfounded when he entered the door. On one side was Soo-yun, who had put on half of his clothes, and on the other side was Ling Jiling, who was unbuttoning her collar because it was a bit hot. Anyone who saw this would think it was a good thing. Brother, did I come too early? Or did you forget what you said to me? Ling-gu asked and said to Ling Jiling awkwardly, Hello, Sister Jiling. Ling Jiling saw that Ling-gu misunderstood, so she quickly waved her hand and explained that it wasn't what he thought. No, he was still taking a shower when I came. No, I didn't mean that. This explanation was really making things worse. Soo-yun felt like yellow mud fell into his crotch. Who would believe you if you said it wasn't Papa? Sister Jiling is looking for me. I'll talk to you about your matter tomorrow. Soo-yun had nothing to explain, so he directly said to Ling-gu. First of all, there was nothing to explain. Secondly, Soo-yun also knew that Ling-gu wasn't a gossipy woman and wouldn't gossip. Ling-gu had an I understand look on his face. He said good night and closed the door for them. Ling Jiling was particularly embarrassed. I caused you to be misunderstood. Chapter 1184. Seeing that Ling Jiling pursed her lips, Soo-yun carefully got up and went to the fridge to get 2 bottles of mineral water. Ling Jiling awkwardly took the water from Soo-yun. It's not convenient for me these 2 days, so I can't drink cold water. You should know about women's matters, right? I know. Soo-yun quickly took the water away and poured Ling Jiling a cup of hot water. You must be careful during this critical period. Drink some hot water to warm your body and rest early at night. Oh right, have you booked a room? Do you want me to go and inform them? Ling Jiling quickly shook her head. No need, I won't be staying here tonight. I have a place to stay in Xinjiang. Then she explained. I asked my parents to move to Xinjiang. Although the city is a little crowded, the medical care there is more advanced. My parents are old, so. Soo-yun nodded to show that he understood. He knew that Ling Jiling explained because she was afraid that Soo-yun would misunderstand. There were not many A-list female celebrities who did not have scandals. There were hype and slander. Anyway, in the entertainment industry, 9 out of 10 sentences were ignored. It was because there were rumors that Ling Jiling was being supported by a wealthy businessman in Xinjiang that Ling Jiling explained this to Soo-yun. Soo-yun did not care about the rumors in the entertainment industry. In life, filial piety is the foundation. When your parents are old, you have to take care of them. The entertainment industry is too busy, so you rarely have time to take care of your family. I can understand. Ling Jiling looked at Soo-yun gratefully and cut to the chase. I came to find you this time to ask about the filming of King of Soldiers. Have you decided on the male lead? Not yet. Soo-yun. Do you have anyone suitable to recommend? There is one. Ling Jiling smiled. Soo-yun replied with a no and asked curiously, who? Is it your junior brother? My juniors are not qualified. Ling Jiling said. I think you are the most suitable person. Damn. Su Yin was stunned at first, then he grinned and laughed. Sister Jiling, don't tease me. I've never studied acting before, so I don't have this professional quality. Ah. I'm just acting as myself. Ling Jiling said. Don't you think you're very suitable for the role? But I can't even speak in front of so many cameras. Su Yin. Actors have to know how to act. No matter how many people you're facing, you have to get into character as soon as you want. I definitely can't do that. Sister Jiling, stop joking. If there's anyone suitable, you must recommend him to me. Ling Jiling saw that Su Yin didn't agree, so she didn't force him. I just suddenly thought of this, and I heard that you were in Xinjiang, so I came over to tell you. Really, you should think about it. It's not like there aren't any bosses in the entertainment industry who participate in films. Why? Can't you put down your pride? It's not a matter of face. I really can't. Su Yin was really embarrassed. Then there's nothing we can do. Ling Jiling drank all the hot water in the cup and smiled. Then I won't disturb your rest. I'll go back first. It's already so late. I'll send you back, Su Yin said. Ling Jiling waved her hand and said, No need, no need. I'm familiar with the way. It's late. You should rest early. Can you do it yourself? Otherwise, I'll arrange for someone to send you back, Su Yin said. There's really no need. Ling Jiling smiled. My parents live very close to here. It's just a few minutes' drive. Okay, I'm leaving. After Ling Jiling left, Lin Gu came to Su Yin's room again. This kid looked at Su Yin with shifty eyes. Brother, what's the situation? You're not doing the unspoken rules, right? The female leads in the movie were divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Ling Jiling's visit at this time would definitely make people think the wrong way. Su Yin glanced at Lin Gu. What are you thinking in your head? Brother, you can't blame me for thinking too much. When I came in, one of you unbuttoned and the other took off her shirt. What do you think I can think about? Lin Gu smirked and said, However, if you two really have something, it wouldn't be so fast. He. It seems that I'm really overthinking. Overthinking your sister? Su Yin said helplessly. In the future, your thoughts should be more pure. Even if I have any thoughts, Sister Jiling's body is still in a condition these few days. What can I do? Su Yin complained casually. As soon as his voice fell, he realized that he said something wrong. Lin Gu glanced at the steaming cup on the table, and a look of realization dawned on him. Looks like there's really something going on. It's just that the conditions don't allow it. Brother, you're really something. You even know what's going on with her body. Ha, that's enough. What's there to explain? Su Yin only hated that he didn't speak clearly. Brother, why did you ask me to come? Lin Gu asked. Originally, Su Yin wanted to talk about his and Fangya's situation, but after Ling Jiling's revelation, he suddenly realized that he really had someone around him who could be used. Let Lin Gu act. If a movie directly made Lin Gu famous, then he could go to Fangya's house with a straight back. Now people were realistic. If Fangya's family inquired and found out that Lin Gu had no house, no job, and no household registration in Shanghai, then they definitely wouldn't be willing to let their daughter be in a relationship with him. If Lin Gu became a well-known movie star, then there would be no mother-in-law in the world who wouldn't want him. Moreover, if Lin Gu acted as the lead, there would be no need to find a stunt double for any special effects. Even the cost of hanging wires would be saved. I want to discuss the movie with you. After Su Yin thought it through, he directly said, I want you to develop in the film and television industry. Stop. Lin Gu didn't wait for Su Yin to speak, and his strong sixth sense understood what Su Yin meant. Brother, you can ask me to do anything, but don't ask me to act in a movie. This matter is not negotiable. I'm not the kind of person who can pretend. Su Yin was speechless. F***CK, can you listen to me first? There's really no need to say. Lin Gu said, Brother, we both know each other. That it's getting late. I'll go back to sleep first. You should also sleep early. If you really can't do it, you can personally act as the lead. I guarantee that the box office will be absolutely amazing. I'll book the theater and invite everyone to watch. The box office of a movie is like the box office of a web novel. It's very disgusting and bad behavior. Soo-yin said with disdain. Okay, I see that you're the kind of person who can't eat dog meat on the big table. Go back and wash up and sleep. Okay, then I'll go. Lin-ge scratched his head. Brother, it's really not that I don't want to promise you, but I really can't do this line of work. Casting can't be done in a day or two. If you want to make a classic, you have to be patient. Haha, I'll go first. You should also sleep early. Lin Ji's words were definitely reasonable. If you wanted to make a classic, you had to be patient. This matter couldn't be rushed. Take it slowly. Whether it was the script or the actor, it was a long-term job. Soo-yin lay in bed and suddenly felt that he couldn't sleep. He couldn't tell why, but there was a sense of crisis. Perhaps the peaceful days had been too long. Even Soo-yin himself felt a little uncomfortable. However, Soo-yin wasn't hoping for something to happen. But this feeling still made Soo-yin feel that he should make some preparations as soon as possible to avoid any sudden changes and be caught off guard. Chapter 1185. Wei Yishan didn't have a good time recently. Since he suffered a setback in Guqin Island and lost his general, Xiongfeng's news had spread out in the underground world, which greatly reduced his reputation. But now Wei Yishan was afraid that he would offend Zhuo Lengyue and be in trouble. He was really worried that Zhuo Lengyue would suddenly make things difficult for him. At that time, he wouldn't even have a place to cry. However, Wei Yishan's current situation was perfectly described by the saying, "Blessings don't come in pairs and misfortunes don't come singly." Over the past month, Wei Yishan, who had always been well-behaved, didn't even dare to breathe loudly. He was afraid that he would be killed directly if he offended Zhuo Lengyue. A month ago, the Maitreya Buddha was still domineering and arrogant in the underground world. It was as if he had suddenly vanished into thin air. Being well-behaved was not Wei Yishan's style. He couldn't live in seclusion in his villa on the outskirts of the mountain for the rest of his life. After pondering for a while, Wei Yishan decided to arrange Gu Lin to go out and inquire about the news. However, Gu Lin went out for 3 days. Not only did he not bring any news to Wei Yishan, but he also brought back 2 foreigners. One had curly blonde hair, and the other was tall and sturdy. They exuded an aura that made Wei Yishan uncomfortable. Wei Yishan was very angry about Gu Lin's behavior of bringing 2 outsiders to his secret residence, but he could also see that Gu Lin was forced to do so. Seeing Wei Yishan, Gu Lin knelt down directly. "Lord Zeng, I deserve to die. I shouldn't have brought them here, but they forced me to do so. If I didn't bring them here, they would tear open my scalp and pour mercury into it. They would skin me alive. Lord Zeng." "Okay, stop talking." Wei Yishan interrupted Gu Lin. He looked at the 2 people brought back by Gu Lin. "May I know what you 2 want? I don't have any relationship with you, do I?" Wei Yishan, who always paid attention to hospitality, didn't give up his seat or ask for tea. He felt very conflicted about these 2 people who came with bad intentions. At this moment, the 2 people standing in front of Wei Yishan were 2 of the 12 heavenly stars under the CIA's Douglas, Leo and Taurus. The 12 heavenly stars had come to Huaxia one after another in the past month. Douglas was a calm person. Although he was not from Huaxia, he was deeply interested in some of the proverbs in Huaxia. He even told the 12 heavenly stars about the meaning of haste makes waste. Of course, the 12 heavenly stars were confused. Although they did not really understand why hot tofu could not be eaten in a hurry, they understood that Soo-yin could not be dealt with in a hurry. Therefore, after Leo Star and Taurus Star arrived in Huaxia, they learned about Wei Yishan from Randolph. The 12 heavenly stars were divided into 2 groups, so there would definitely be some secret competition. Aries wanted to get the credit, so after finding out about Wei Yishan's background, he immediately arranged for everyone to look for him. However, after a week of searching, they still couldn't find him. Leo Star and Taurus Star originally planned to return empty-handed. However, they received a clue that Wei Yishan's trusted aide was found in the city they were in. The 2 of them immediately rushed to the scene and stopped Gu Lin. Gu Lin came out to scout for information, But he didn't expect to be stopped by two foreigners. Of course, he didn't fall for it. He turned hostile and attacked as soon as he said so. However, he never expected that these two foreigners were so strong. He was no match for them at all. He was subdued in 2 or 3 rounds. The other party's request was also straightforward. They wanted him to take them to see Wei Yishan, or they would kill him. Gu Lin admitted that he was a coward, and Wei Yishan also understood this. In order to save his life, he could only bring these two foreigners back and let Lord Zeng handle this matter. Mr. Wei, you have nothing to do with us, but you have something to do with Randolph. Taurus Star said straightforwardly. Mr. Wei, to be honest, we are members of the Interpol to carry out a secret mission. We need your cooperation to investigate a very serious matter. Douglas's people wouldn't casually say that they were from the CIA. Making up identities was their strength. In the US, they liked to pretend to be FBI agents. In foreign countries, they often pretended to be from the Interpol. After that, Taurus Star took out an Interpol ID and showed it to Wei Yishan. Wei Yishan was stunned. How did this matter have anything to do with the Interpol? I'm sorry. Who do you think you are? Wei Yishan said. Interpol? I didn't do anything. I have nothing to do with the Interpol. Are you looking for the wrong person? Leo Star didn't have that much patience. Mr. Wei, if you cooperate, we can still give you a chance to talk. If you don't cooperate, I'm afraid we will have to use force. Who do you think you are? How dare you act so presumptuously in front of Lord Zeng? Although Wei Yishan didn't have Xiong Feng by his side, he still had a lot of people under him. Of course, they wouldn't let these two people defecate and pee on Wei Yishan's head. They wouldn't allow anyone to disrespect Lord Zeng. Leo Star was about to get angry, but Taurus Star quickly stopped him. After all, there were only 2 of them today, and the other party had the advantage in numbers. To borrow a sentence from Douglas, haste makes waste. Everything had to be done slowly. We just want to ask a few questions about Randolph. Taurus Star tried to make his tone casual. Wei Yishan didn't want to get involved with Randolph. I don't know what you are talking about. Randolph. I don't know anything about him. Mr. Wei, since we can find you, it means that we have enough evidence. Taurus Star said. Randolph is involved in a serious crime. We don't want you to have anything to do with him. But you have to tell us everything you know. Who didn't know that Randolph was involved in a serious crime? The whole world knew about it. But the US government couldn't do anything about it. Wei Yishan wanted to say something, but he didn't. He carefully looked at the 2 people in front of him. Do you want to know who Randolph was in contact with when he came to Huaxia? Yes. Taurus Star said. If you know, can you tell us? I do know. Wei Yishan had an idea. He seems to have some relationship with Mr. Su from Sky Entertainment Group. If it's a crime, you should really investigate Mr. Su. I can't help you with other things. Leo Star sneered. You keep saying that you have nothing to do with Randolph. How do you know that he has a relationship with someone from Sky Entertainment Group? Mr. Wei, don't make things difficult for us. If you cooperate with us, we won't mistreat you. If he could frame Su Yin by cooperating with Interpol, Wei Yishan would be more than happy to do so. How do you want me to cooperate? If there's anything I can do to help, I will do my best. Taurus Star and Leo Star didn't expect Wei Yishan to agree so quickly. They looked at each other and didn't know what to say. After all, they were pretending to be Wei Yishan, and they didn't know how Interpol worked. Leo Star organized his words and said, Our identities must be kept confidential. That's why I want you to cooperate with us to investigate Su Yun. You are a local, and you have a lot of people under you. We don't need you to do anything else. We just need you to arrange people to follow Su Yun 24/7. You have to give us an explanation of where he went. That's it. Wei Yishan was shocked. He couldn't believe it was so simple. Chapter 1186. Criminal Evidence. Wei Yishan frowned. This was a bit tricky. However, since Interpol said so, he could also do something. Even if Su Yin didn't have any criminal evidence, he could arrange for someone to make some. In this case, Okay. You can rest assured. I will arrange for my people to do this well. Wei Yishan agreed immediately. I, Wei Yishan, fully support the arrest of international criminals. As long as there is any movement, I will immediately inform the two of you. Taurus took out a mobile phone and put it in front of Wei Yishan. I will contact you through this phone. If I don't contact you, you just do your own thing. Okay. Understood. Wei Yishan smiled. Even if these two people spoke to him disrespectfully, he didn't care. At this moment, his mind was no longer on these two people. He was thinking about how to trick Su Yun and make Su Yun get into big trouble. At that time, he would be able to get his revenge without even needing to do anything. Not to mention that Zuolingyue wouldn't suspect him because of this. He was afraid that she wouldn't pay attention to him at that time. His sense of crisis would be relieved. Although it was disgusting to do such a shameful thing, Wei Yishan had no other way. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame Su Yun for giving him such a headache. After the two foreigners left, Wei Yishan snorted. Gong Zhen beside him looked at him confusedly and asked, Lord Zeng, are we really going to cooperate with Interpol? Why not? Wei Yishan said, it's a good opportunity to cooperate with Interpol. Lord Zeng, do you mean to use their relationship to frame Su Yun? Gulin finally straightened his back after Taurus and Leo left. Wei Yishan's face sank. Who allowed you to stand up? Kneel down. Gulin originally wanted to fish in troubled waters, but seeing this, he could only obediently lower his head. Lord Zeng, I knew that these two people would definitely be useful to you, so I brought them back. Otherwise, even if you killed me, I wouldn't bring them here. Humph, Wei Yishan glared at Gulin fiercely. This guy said it so nicely. If you had known that these two people were useful to Lord Zeng, you wouldn't have acted like this. Gong Zhen had always hated Gulin, not only because he was ugly but also because he was unreliable. It was just that Gulin's relationship with Xiongfeng had always been good. He usually fawned over Xiongfeng, so Xiongfeng took care of him. No one would say anything about Gulin. But now that Xiongfeng was finished, no one had any scruples. Gulin's face was still like this. Most people would not tolerate him. Could it be that I would harm Lord Zeng? Gulin knew that he was being unreasonable, but he still refused to admit it. It's just a coincidence. These two people are useful to Lord Zeng. If they are really here to harm Lord Zeng, not only will the two of them not be able to walk out alive today, you will also not be able to see the sun tomorrow. Gong Zhen snorted and threatened fiercely. Gulin glanced at Gong Zhen resentfully. He thought to himself, when Xiongfeng was still alive, you didn't even dare to fart. Now you're acting like a boss in front of Lord Zeng. You really think you're a big shot. However, Gulin didn't dare to say this because he really couldn't beat Gong Zhen with his strength. If Gong Zhen wanted to kill him, it was definitely a matter of minutes. Moreover, Wei Yishan was in a bad mood recently. If he really wanted to kill him, he probably wouldn't stop Gong Zhen. It's all my fault. But no matter what, Lord Zeng got a blessing because of me. Gulin said, Lord Zeng, what is your plan? Wei Yishan also knew about people like Gulin, but this kind of person sometimes had his uses. He didn't need to care about him. Since the two people asked us to investigate Su's whereabouts, where they go and where they don't go, isn't it up to us? Wei Yishan said. Moreover, what they want is the evidence of Su and Randolph's crimes. We don't even know where Su has taken Randolph, let alone what crimes Randolph has committed. Without any evidence, we can fabricate false evidence. Lord Zeng is wise. Gulin's flattery was timely. Let's do it this way. We will give the evidence of Su's crimes to the two people, and let them fight each other. We will just sit back and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Wei Yishan snorted. I really don't want to do this. But if we don't find some trouble for Su and the people around him, I'm afraid that pair of eyes will always be on me. If something goes wrong, not only will I be unlucky, but all of you will be in the same situation. Gong Zhen and Gulin both knew who Wei Yishan was talking about. It was Zuolingyue. They definitely couldn't afford to offend that woman. Lord Zeng, I'll arrange it. Gong Zhen volunteered. Wei Yishan smiled slightly. Make it real. Since they are Interpol, they are not fools. We should also take some actions. Let our brothers do some activities. After this case is over, I will reward you handsomely. But let me make it clear. Be smart and don't do stupid things. If anyone gives the game away, think carefully about what to say. The consequences of talking nonsense will be the same as in this case. Finishing his words, Wei Yishan smashed the table in front of him into pieces with his palm. His eyes swept over Gu Lin's face without any hesitation. These words were meant for people like Gu Lin. Wei Yishan was a cautious person. There were some things that he would rather not do than to ruin his own feat, if he couldn't do it well. Did you hear me clearly? Wei Yishan's voice was full of oppression. Gongjun clasped his hands. Yes. You can leave now. Wei Yishan waved his hand. Gu Lin, you stay here. Gu Lin broke out in a cold sweat. Looking at the table, if the two people he brought back today weren't beneficial to Lord Zeng, he was afraid that he would end up on this table today. Just thinking about it made him scared. Who wouldn't be afraid? Gu Lin knew that Wei Yishan must have his reasons for keeping him here. Wei Yishan was definitely the most ruthless person he had ever seen. For example, in the case of Xiongfeng, in order to not let Zhuo Lingyue's anger burn on him, he didn't even blink when he killed Xiongfeng. One must know that Xiongfeng was the person he trusted the most. If he could kill Xiongfeng so ruthlessly, what more could he do to Gu Lin? Therefore, Gu Lin was very clear that he had to be useful. Otherwise, he wouldn't even know how he died. He didn't dare to run away. If he ran away, unless he found a stronger backer than Wei Yishan, and someone who could support him, he wouldn't live long. Lord Zeng, don't worry. I will make up for my mistakes. Gu Lin said. If there's anything, just tell me. I will take care of it. Wei Yishan looked at Gu Lin. How many years have you been with me? 7 no 8 years. Gu Lin said. It's been a long time, but you have never made any big achievements. Wei Yishan said. This time, I will give you a chance to make a contribution. You also know that Qingzhu hasn't come back since the last incident. I know that you have some personal relationship with Qingzhu. Find a way to contact him, and let him come back to help me. Gu Lin thought, no wonder he didn't kill me. It seems that he really has a use for me. Song Qingzhu hadn't been with Wei Yishan for long. Except for a little communication with Gu Lin and Xiongfeng, he had almost no communication with the other subordinates of Wei Yishan. Lord Zeng, don't worry. I will help you bring him back as soon as possible. Gu Lin patted his chest and made an oath. Lord Zeng, please. I will find a way to contact him now. Chapter 1187. Song Qingzhu's life in Sky Entertainment was smooth sailing. No one discriminated against him because he was a traitor. Since Su Yin accepted him, he treated him as one of his own. Moreover, he no longer had to do things he didn't like. More importantly, he could see Bai Xiaoye every day. Song Qingzhu felt that he had no regrets in this life. He didn't want to go back to his previous life, and didn't want to have anything to do with it. He also didn't want to have anything to do with Wei Yishan. He felt much better after completely cutting ties with him. Originally, he regretted following Wei Yishan because Wei Yishan was not like what he had heard. Although Wei Yishan was known as the Mithra Buddha, he was insidious and cunning. His biggest characteristic was that he was not what he appeared to be. Song Qingzhu had been disgusted with him for a long time. When he was seriously injured that day, Wei Yishan didn't even pay attention to him and left. He took this opportunity to cut ties with him. He thought that he would never have anything to do with Wei Yishan's people again. He didn't expect that Gu Lin would suddenly appear in front of him a month later. Qingzhu, you're living a pretty good life right now. Gu Lin really didn't expect that Song Qingzhu would actually mix around with Su Yun. Song Qingzhu had always had a pitiful attitude towards Gu Lin. He felt that this guy was a punching bag under Wei Yishan, so he always took care of him. However, it was because of this that Gu Lin was disrespectful in front of Song Qingzhu. I didn't betray Lord Zeng. Lord Zeng abandoned me first. Song Qingzhu said indifferently. If it wasn't for President Su, I wouldn't even have the chance to sit here and talk to you today. It's natural for me to stay. Go back and say hello to Lord Zeng for me. We'll part on good terms. Before I was his man. If he asked me to do something, I would do it well. But now I'm President Su's man. If anyone wants to touch President Su, they'll have to ask me first. Gu Lin swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Qingzhu, are you threatening Lord Zeng? Is that what you think? Song Qingzhu said. I didn't mean that. Forget it. Let's not talk about it anymore. How did you know I was here? Look at your WeChat moments. If you blacklisted me, I wouldn't be able to find you. Gu Lin said. I was wondering why you started working for the Sky Entertainment Group. So it turns out that you're indebted to someone. So what you mean now is that you will never go back to follow Lord Zeng, right? Song Qingzhu nodded. Like I said, let's part on good terms. There's no need to make everyone unhappy. Gu Lin heaved a long sigh. Alas, I haven't heard from you for the past month. I've lost a lot of weight, and you want me to bring back such a message? Qingzhu, aren't you being too disloyal? This isn't a matter of loyalty or lack of loyalty. Those who walk different paths can't work together. Song Qingzhu said. Now that I've thought it through, I've decided to leave. Even if it wasn't for Mr. Su, my cooperation with Lord Zeng wouldn't last long. If they were not on the same side, they would not pee in the same pot. I, Song Qingzhu, do things straightforwardly and I'm not afraid of offending people. But Lord Zeng's way of doing things is sometimes really. Yes, Lord Zeng is a bit shady. But he's lived for so long, how can he not be shady? It's not like you don't know how scheming he is. Gu Lin seemed to understand. That's enough. It's fine if you throw a tantrum, but you're being serious. Of course I'm not joking. Song Qingzhu said. Gu Lin, we've known each other for a while. I came to see you today because of our old friendship. I won't ask you to leave. You can leave by yourself. Gu Lin glared. Do you think you know Su Yun so well? Do you know what secrets he has behind him? You're being used now. This is my own business. You don't have to worry about it. Song Qingzhu finally asked him to leave. I won't send you off. Take care. By the way, there's one more thing. Don't come to the film base to look for me again. If Brother Yun sees you, I don't know how to explain it. Consider it for me. I'll thank you in advance. Gu Lin really didn't expect Song Qingzhu to stage a betrayal at this juncture. If Lord Zeng knew about this, wouldn't he be in trouble? The first person to blame would be him, Gu Lin, for his incompetence. He had to hide this matter. Only by hiding it could he have an excuse to stay with Song Qingzhu and give Wei Yishan a reason to let him live. Qingzhu, think about it carefully. Gu Lin turned and left. Gu Lin was eloquent and proficient in lying. It wasn't difficult for him to convince Wei Yishan. Although Wei Yishan was always skeptical of his words, he still believed Gu Lin this time. He believed that Song Qingzhu stayed in Sky Entertainment Group as a spy, so that she could give them a fatal blow at the most critical moment. Now that things had developed to this point, Wei Yishan could only let Gu Lin stay and continue to act as a go-between. If there were any movements, Gu Lin could be conveyed to him at any time. What Gu Lin did every day was to fabricate lies and report them to Wei Yishan. Then he would wander around the major bars and nightclubs of Qingdao. Every day, he would be infatuated with some green tea cheese and completely indulge in wine and women. Anyway, even if something went wrong in the end, Gu Lin could push all the blame to Song Qingzhu. He could say that Song Qingzhu tricked him from the beginning and didn't sincerely cooperate with him at all. That way he wouldn't be blamed. All of Wei Yishan's anger could be smoothly transferred to Song Qingzhu, and he would be able to get away. Gu Lin was quite satisfied with his plan of killing many birds with one stone. This was the way to dawdle. Don't take things too seriously. Otherwise you would be the one suffering. These days, Wei Yishan had arranged people to follow Su Yun in all aspects. Wei Yishan instilled a central idea in them. They couldn't be discovered. If they were discovered, they couldn't admit it even if they were killed. If anyone dared to talk nonsense, he would definitely make them die an even worse death. No one wanted to die, so under Gong Zhen's leadership, everyone was very cautious. They would rather lose the person than be discovered by Su Yun. Su Yun's intuition was very sharp. These days he could feel that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what it was. He didn't find anyone suspicious, nor did he detect the existence of danger. However, he smelled that something was wrong. Ruan Qingshuang felt that he was thinking too much. She told him not to think too much. Oh right, there's a charity auction in Beijing in a few days. I received an invitation. I heard that not everyone can enter. The invitations are sent to the powerful groups in the country. I think you should go and take a look to relax. I can't afford to attend an auction. Su-yin. That's something for the rich. Don't. You're representing Sky Entertainment Group, not yourself. Ruan Qingshuang said. This is a charity auction. It's all works of famous contemporary artists. If you're representing Sky Entertainment Group, you're representing Sky Entertainment Group to do charity. What about Zhuo Meiyan? Let her go. Su-yin felt that Zhuo Meiyan had been the representative of Sky Entertainment Group for the past few years. He wasn't used to suddenly being asked to go. Ruan Qingshuang shrugged. She's participating in a film festival overseas. She's already busy enough. Su-yin, you can't decline this time. I have my own things to do. Only you can make the decisions for Sky Entertainment Group. No one else can replace you. She wasn't lying. Things like auctions could be done with a flick of a finger. Tens of thousands of yuan were small. Other than him, no one else could make the decisions for Sky Entertainment Group. Okay, I know. Then I'll prepare. Su-yin. I also need to go back to the military. Su-yin suddenly remembered that he left something at Yu Marin's place. Chapter 1188. Without further ado, Su-yin prepared to rush to Beijing after making his decision. Of course, Su-yin also had his own selfish motives. He did not want the danger around him to threaten others. If his sixth sense was right, this feeling would follow him to Beijing. Indeed, even if Su-yin came to Beijing, he could still clearly feel the feeling of being followed. He had to admit that the other party had good methods. He had been very careful, but there was still no evidence to determine who was following him and how many were there. Su-yin did not even notice a familiar face. The other party was really meticulous. Just based on this, Su-yin could tell that there were many people following him this time. Who on earth would put in so much effort for him? Su-yin sneered in his heart. Then I'll play with you guys. It was easy to get rid of the person after noticing that he was being followed. He just had to walk into a crowded shopping mall from one door, turn left and right, and come out from another door. Basically, he could get rid of them. They were not professionals. Su-yin had tried before. If he could not get rid of them, he could tell that the other party had a certain level of ability. After confirming that the other party was quite professional, Su-yin continued to walk around casually. Su-yin heard the sound of a shop's horn. 2 yuan for the whole store. 2 yuan for everything. 2 yuan is not much. You can't go to Hong Kong or Singapore. 2 yuan is not expensive. You don't have to go back for a family meeting. Although it's not a family heirloom, every family can't leave it. It won't break even after 3 to 5 years. It can even be passed down to the next generation. 2 yuan for the whole store. 2 yuan for everything. Pick whatever you want. 2 yuan for the whole store. 2 yuan for everything. 2 yuan, you won't lose out if you don't buy it. 2 yuan, you won't be scammed. It's really worth it. Take whatever you want. Tisk tsk tsk. Just based on the advertising slogan, Su-yin wanted to go in and take a look. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Su-yin walked into the $2 store and bought a pen and a leather envelope. This was indeed a store for daily necessities. Su-yin also bought a few dozen hell notes that were burned for the dead. All of them were worth a few trillion. He really didn't know how much the underworld's currency had inflated. He estimated that a match would be worth a few hundred million. In the end, Su-yin asked for another piece of paper from the shop owner, and put the paper money into a leather envelope. Only then did he leave the stationery shop in satisfaction. He found a place to drink by the street and sat down. He ordered a glass of freshly squeezed mango juice, and began to write on the paper seriously. After about half an hour, Su-yin looked at his work with satisfaction. Then Su-yin got up and continued to stroll on the crowded pedestrian street in Beijing. Not long after, a man wearing a windbreaker and a hat with sunglasses covering half of his face entered Su-yin's eyes. The corner of Su-yin's mouth raised slightly, revealing a faint smile. Although the weather was getting colder, there was no need to wear such thick clothes, right? It was obvious that there was something wrong with his brain, or that he was a criminal. Wearing such clothes would make it easy for people to identify him. He quickened his pace and quickly walked forward. He said to the man in the windbreaker, "Brother, can you help me?" The man in the windbreaker was stunned. He looked at Su Yun from head to toe. "You were sent by Brother Jun to get the goods? Get your sister." Su Yun spat in his heart. It seemed that his judgment was not wrong. This guy was really not a good person. He didn't know what criminal things he had on him. "Brother, you've got the wrong person," Su Yun said. "Then why do you want me to help you? Go away, go away. I still have something important to do." The man in the windbreaker waved his hand impatiently. "You don't want to do a job that earns money?" Su Yun shook the craft paper bag in his hand. "Help me send the money in here to a person walking on the street. He will immediately give you 50% of the money as the errand fee." The man in the windbreaker was stunned. "There's such a good thing? Are you kidding me? Think about it yourself." After Su Yun finished speaking, he handed the craft paper bag. "Do you think I want to spend more money? I have no choice. I can't let that person see me. Brother, this is a rare good thing. If you don't do it, I'll find someone else. I'm looking for you because I feel that you and I are fated." Okay. I'll do it. Of course I'll do it." The moment the man in the windbreaker touched the craft paper bag, his face bloomed with a smile. This feeling, there were at least tens of thousands of yuan inside, right? He actually encountered such a good thing. He must have accumulated good karma in his previous life. After Su Yun handed the craft paper bag to the man in the windbreaker, he quickly walked into the crowd. However, his eyes never left the man in the windbreaker. The man in the windbreaker was not an idiot. He was not stupid enough to really send the money back. Only a person with a mental illness would do that. If he took the money and left, who could find him? Even if they found him, they had no evidence. How could they say that he took the money? The money was forced into his hands by someone else. He did not care whether the money was hot or not. He just took it and spent it. If he felt that it was hot, he would spend it quickly. Tens of thousands of yuan was easy to spend. It was not even enough to spend a night in heaven. When the man in the windbreaker saw that Su Yun, who had given him the craft paper bag, disappeared into the crowd, he immediately disappeared into the crowd. With tens of thousands of yuan in his hands, he would rather stand Brother Jun up. After all, he could only earn 2,000 yuan by delivering goods to Brother Jun. At worst, he would give up the 2,000 yuan today. However, the man in the windbreaker never imagined that after he took the craft paper bag, he would be targeted by countless pairs of eyes. Even if he had the ability to escape, he would not be able to escape from those pairs of eyes. The man in the windbreaker took the money and fled frantically, afraid that he would be caught. However, the more one was afraid of something, the more it would happen. The man in the windbreaker was afraid of being caught. In the end, 15 minutes later, he was surrounded by a few strangers. "What do you want?" Knowing that there was money in the craft paper bag, the man in the windbreaker's courage erupted. "I'm telling you, don't provoke me. I'm not someone to be trifled with. Do you know who I'm with? I'll scare you to death if I tell you. Try touching me if you dare. See if you regret it. Take him away." In the end, the other party completely ignored his threat. 2 or 3 people came forward and subdued him without any explanation. They quickly dragged him into a commercial vehicle. The craft paper bag in his hand was also taken away by their leader. F***CK, it's fine if you hit me, but don't touch my things. The man in the windbreaker was determined. "I'll get angry with whoever touches the bag. Shut up." A big slap came over, making the man in the trench coat dizzy and completely dizzy. Who the F***CK are these people? Why are they so ruthless? Just say what we ask you. If you say something wrong, you'll be slapped. The leader of the kidnappers lifted the man's chin with his hand. Do you understand what I mean? The man in the windbreaker was afraid of being beaten. This slap was too painful. I understand very well. I won't speak carelessly. I'll tell you everything I know. Good. Tell me, what is your relationship with this person? The leader of the kidnappers waved the craft paper bag in his hand. I don't know him. The man in the windbreaker answered cleanly. I don't even know what's going on with him. Think carefully before you speak. Don't make me waste my energy slapping you again. When the man in the windbreaker heard that, he was a bit scared. I really don't know him. Really, I swear. I swear. All right, kid. If I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know that my family runs a dye shop, right? The leader sneered. Brothers, take care of him. Let this little man have a taste of his fist. Chapter 1189. 500 meters away from the car that the man in the windbreaker was in, Soo-yun was finally certain that he was being followed. And it wasn't just one person following him, it was a team of people. The man in the windbreaker was Soo-yun's bait. He only needed to give the man something, and the people following him would naturally find trouble with the man in the windbreaker to understand the situation. The man in the windbreaker wasn't having a good time. After a few minutes of punching and kicking, his entire face was swollen. He really didn't understand why they were beating him. I'm telling the truth. I really don't know him. The man in the windbreaker felt wronged. You don't want to admit it? Okay, then I'll see what's in the evidence. The person in the lead was Wei Yishan's subordinate, Gong Jun. It wasn't easy to follow him from Xinjiang to Yanjing, but Gong Jun still managed to do it. He wanted to make Zheng Zheng see him in a new light and let him know that he, Gong Jun, was more reliable than Xiong Feng. The man in the windbreaker was completely hurt. It must be money. Could it be paper money? If it was paper money, I wouldn't take it. Brothers, please spare me. I don't want this money, okay? It seemed that this kid was really scared of being beaten up. He even gave up on the money. Gong Jun wouldn't believe him so easily. He tore open the craft paper bag and reached in to grab a handful of money. With this grab, Gong Jun really broke down. It was really paper money. King tricked me. Gong Jun grabbed the man in the windbreaker's collar. Kid, if you want to die, just say it. I'll definitely give you a quick death. The man in the windbreaker was also dumbfounded. He never dreamed that the craft paper bag that he treated like a treasure was actually paper money. If he took it home and asked his wife to show filial piety to her mother, she would probably vomit blood. Tell me what's going on. Before Gong Jun could do anything, a slap had already landed on the man's face. I really don't know. The man in the windbreaker didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He even wanted to die now. Brother Jun, I think this guy won't give up until he sees the coffin. We have to teach him a lesson. Gong Jun snorted and took out stacks of hell notes from the craft paper bag. Suddenly he found a note. There was a sentence written on the note. The meeting place has changed. Meet the person at this place at 2 o'clock tonight. The map is as follows. Then there was a hand-drawn map. It seemed that Soo-yun had put in a lot of effort in the past half an hour. Where is this? Gong Jun slapped the map in front of the windbreaker man. Don't tell me you don't know. If you don't know, then no one knows. Speak. What is this place on the map? What do these hell coins mean? Helplessness was written all over the man's face. Big brother, just kill me. I was framed. I really don't understand what this means. Search him and see if there are any clues on him. At Gong Jun's command, a few of his subordinates quickly searched the trench coat man's body. Soon, they found some colorful pills and colorless borneal that were packaged in small packages. Brother Jun. Look. Gong Jun took a look. F***ck playing with these? But this kind of small matter would provoke the Interpol? Could it be that this Soo-yun was an international drug lord? What is this? Gong Jun asked coldly. The trench coat man looked at Gong Jun. Based on the banditry aura of these people, he could tell that they were definitely not the police. Therefore, he did not hide anything. Ecstasy pills and borneal. They are all high-purity drugs. These are goods that I'm carrying for someone else. Brothers, give me a way out. I don't want the paper money. You can take the map and leave the goods behind. You can burn the paper money yourself. Gong Jun snorted. Take these things. If there's time, we can try them together. I can't give them to you. These are Brother Jun's goods. You mustn't touch them, or Brother Jun will kill me. Panic was written all over the man's face. Do you know who Brother Jun is? If you dare to take Brother Jun's goods, you can forget about living. Gong Jun spat. The one who can't live is you, right? I'll give you one last chance. Where is this map? The trench coat man's face was twisted with hatred. Big brother, don't force me. I said I don't know, so I don't know. Beat him until he admits. Gong Jun said casually. The beating lasted for more than 2 hours. There was not a single piece of good flesh on the trench coat man's body. At this moment, there was only one feeling in his body, and that was pain. I'll talk. The dying man had no choice but to confess. This place is the map of Mountain Bar Street. Don't beat me. I beg you, don't beat me. Really, don't beat me. Gong Jun proudly glared at the trench coat man. Didn't you say you don't know? You know after being beaten? Humph, you're so cheap. Let me tell you, you asked for it. Big brother. I surrender. Please let me go. I don't want anything. I don't even want the goods. Give me a chance to live. The man in the trench coat wanted to escape from these lunatics. He said that the map was a bar street in the mountains, but that was all nonsense. Mountain Bar Street was Brother Jun's territory. Gong Jun smiled. If you had cooperated earlier, you wouldn't have had to suffer so much. Brother, that's enough. Don't feel wronged. Let's have dinner together tonight. I'll have to trouble you to bring us to this place at 2 p.m. What? The trench coat man really wanted to scold them for being shameless. They were forcing him to his death. What? You don't want to? Gong Jun frowned. I'm afraid you don't have the choice to refuse. Good. Since you are forcing me to my death, I'll go all out. The trench coat man gritted his teeth. Fine. I'll bring you there tonight. That place was Brother Jun's territory. When the time came, he would give Brother Jun a call and say that the goods were swallowed by these fellows. These fellows would come to see him. Brother Jun would definitely not let these fellows off. Gong Jun was very satisfied with this. Brother, if you had cooperated earlier, you wouldn't have had to suffer like this, right? The trench coat man trembled. He thought to himself, if you hadn't forced me to my death, I wouldn't have done such a thing. If I can't live, then you can't live either. Let's fight to the death tonight. Although he had gotten rid of a portion of the people following him, Suyin still felt that there were others following him. The other party was really generous. Since he couldn't completely get rid of the people following him, Suyin didn't dare to return to the army. His first thought was to find Ma San'er for a night. Tomorrow he would ask Ma San to help him get rid of the remaining people following him. Because the first person he could trust was Ma San'er. When Ma San'er saw Suyin, he wanted to ask the heavens. What did he do? Why was there no end to his suffering? This time, when he heard Suyin say that he was being followed by a lot of people, he got himself into big trouble. Not only did he have to stay for a night, but he also wanted Ma San'er to wear his clothes the next day and drive his car to lure the people following him away. Ma San'er felt a headache coming. Wasn't this clearly setting him up? Brother, can you be any more ruthless? What kind of deep hatred do I have with you? Why are you setting me up like this? Ma San'er said with a sad face. Let's make things clear first. If I get killed because of you, you have to burn at least 10 years of paper money for me. 100 years is not a problem. Suyin grinned. I'm afraid you won't live that long. You're always causing trouble. I've already said 10 years too much. Ma San'er complained. Suyin really wanted to slap his jinxed mouth. Can you curse me a little? Ma San'er wasn't convinced and asked back. Can you bring me some good news? I don't know if I will die in the hands of your enemies tomorrow. What's wrong with letting me say a few words? Chapter 1190. Suyin had already spoken, and the person had already arrived. What could Ma San'er do? Push the person out? That would be too careless. Brother Yin, how many of your stalkers saw you coming to my place? Ma San'er asked. Suyin touched his chin. I really don't know. There should be quite a number of them. Today, I lured out 5 of them. These people have silicone masks on their faces. It is very difficult to identify them. I'm afraid they will make small adjustments to their faces every day. No wonder I haven't seen any familiar faces. Damn, what kind of people are they? They are so meticulous. It's like a spy operation. Is there a need for that? Ma San'er said. Just don't kill me tomorrow. Don't worry. I have been aware of these people for a long time. They will not do anything. They will just follow me. Su-yin said. If you stay here tomorrow, maybe? You will be in danger. Ma Sander was a shrewd person. He understood too well. Or are you the one who set me up? Those bastards will definitely not let go of the people you come into contact with. I came into contact with someone in the afternoon. They threw me into the car. Su-yin shrugged his shoulders. You're trying to kill him. Ma Sander's back was full of cold sweat. Holy sh*t, he's going to collapse. You are dragging the blame onto an ordinary person. That is obviously not right. Look at your way of doing things. I'm afraid there is also a problem with that person. Su-yin believed in his keen intuition. At most, it will be a dog-eat-dog situation. Ma Sander said, Okay, I will do my best tomorrow. If someone really comes looking for me, you must help me deal with it. Don't ruin the things in my shop. They are worth a lot of money. You just need to help me get rid of them. Su-yin smiled. All right, let's sleep tonight. I have an appointment with those fellows at 2 o'clock. Hee. At the bar street in the mountains, the black business car with the windbreaker man, Gongzhen, and the others arrived on time at 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. At this time, there were not many people who came to drink. Most of them had already skipped the party and were waiting to find a place to have fun with a girl. Is this the place? Gongzhen pointed at the map that Su-yin had drawn and asked the man in the trench coat. The man in the trench coat was called Tian Xiaoguang. The beating he received today was definitely the most he had ever received in his entire life. These brothers of his would slap him whenever they wanted. How could they even let him think for a while? She didn't even give him the time to ask questions. She whipped at the slightest disagreement. You'll also get whipped if you answer questions slowly. Not even for a second. Therefore, Tian Xiaoguang nodded without hesitation. Since things had already come to this point, it was hard to say whether he would live or die today. However, deep in his heart, he still believed that Brother Jun's face would be able to shoulder this matter. Where's the contact person? Gongzhen saw that Tian Xiaoguang answered quickly, so he didn't make a move. I don't need to say more about how to contact them, right? Yes. Tian Xiaoguang's mouth was swollen. It was very painful. Contact them now. He didn't even know how he took out his phone. He was panicking. How should he tell Brother Jun this? What if he angered Brother Jun too? What would happen to him in Yanjing in the future? How could he survive in the city? Brother Jun, it's me. Tian Xiaoguang licked his lips. Where the F***ck did you go today? I asked you to deliver the goods. You F***king did it well. You didn't even contact them until now. F***ck. What kind of death medicine did you eat? Do you want to die? Brother Jun picked up the phone and scolded him. Tian Xiaoguang was aggrieved. He choked on his words. Brother, I was F***ked this. What? Brother Jun was anxious on the spot. More than 200 pieces. Brat, are you trying to play some tricks with me? Brother Jun, even if you lent me 10 guts, I wouldn't dare to play tricks with you. I really have no other choice. Tian Xiaoguang said, my people are still in their hands. Gongzhen listened and took the phone from Tian Xiaoguang's hand. You're so slow. You're not a man. Listen to the person on the other side of the phone. I know about the matter between you and Su. Your goods are in my hands. If you want something, then come and get it. F***ck your uncle. When Brother Jun heard that someone dared to touch his goods, he was anxious on the spot. He scolded. F***ck your surname Su. Grandson, listen to me clearly. Touching my things, you're really tired of living. If you have the guts, tell me where you are. I'm in the mountains. When Gongzhen heard that the other party was so arrogant and scolded, the fire in his heart burned. Those who don't have the guts don't dare to show up. When Brother Jun heard that, he was riding on his neck. No one could tolerate this. Otherwise he, Zhang Jun, would not be able to survive in the mountains. I'm waiting for you at absolute zero. If you have the guts, come and kill me. You can take the goods. I have more in my hands. You can take them all. Zhang Jun said coldly. If you don't kill me, Then call your family first and let them prepare to collect your corpse. Before Gong Jun could speak, Zhang Jun hung up the phone directly. Gong Jun suddenly exerted force and crushed Tian Xiaoguang's phone. He stared at him coldly and asked with a strong murderous intent. Lead the way to absolute zero. Tian Xiaoguang looked at the crushed phone and instantly felt a pain in his balls. How strong is his hand? Oh my God, I really can't provoke him. He could only hope that Brother Jun had brought along some weapons. If he relied on his fists, he was afraid that he would not be a match for these people. At this moment, there were not many people in Absolute Zero, which was not very popular to begin with. During this period of time, Zhang Jun had been troubled by the lack of popularity. This was the reason why he made some ecstasy pills. Now no one's place was clean. Only Zhang Jun thought that he could rely on the cleanliness to survive. After all, he still had some face. However, it was a pity that people nowadays didn't care about that at all. They didn't care about face. Everyone had to give Zhang Jun face on the surface. After all, he had the power in this place. But for most people, they would definitely go wherever it was fun. Zhang Jun relied on his face and did not make something fun. It was certain that there would be fewer people. Even if his place sold goods, it did not matter that one pill was 3 or 5 yuan more expensive. Everyone was willing to spend more money to give him face. But they were afraid that he would not sell the goods. In order to regain popularity, Zhang Jun made these goods and at the same time, wholesale some outside. And Tian Xiaoguang was one of his men. He was in charge of delivering goods to those who sold large quantities of ecstasy pills. Zhang Jun had just started this business not long ago. The popularity of his place had not gathered yet, but the export business was doing well. He was bold and bought a lot of goods. Therefore, some people nearby looked for him to buy goods. Knowing that he had goods, who would give up what was near and seek help from afar? All along, Tian Xiaoguang's business had been smooth. He sold 50 to 80 pills to the outside world. It was very smooth. This time, it was the biggest deal. He sold 200 ecstasy pills and 35 grams of ice. But this time something happened. This group of people must have been watching us for a long time. Zhang Jun's underling behind him saw Brother Jun's gloomy face and stepped forward carefully. Zhang Jun took a deep breath. This must be Leilei's doing. Brother Jun, that kid doesn't dare to provoke you, right? He's doing so badly. The underling was in disbelief. Zhang Jun snorted. That kid is not doing well, but that kid has always been an eyesore to the drug seller. I don't know how the drug seller offended him. He tricked old Chi once. Who knows if he's thinking of something to trick me this time. Chapter 1191. The black minivan stopped at the entrance of Absolute Zero like a whirlwind. The door was pulled open, and Tian Xiaoguang was the first to be pushed out. Gong Jun followed closely behind, and then the others got out of the car one after another. At the entrance of the bar, there were already 2 people waiting. The people in the bar had been cleared, and the rest were Zhang Jun's underlings. Where's Brother Jun? Tian Xiaoguang rushed to the door as soon as he got out of the car. I was almost killed by them. Who did Brother Jun provoke? The 2 Zhang Jun's underlings at the door were experienced fighters. They were absolutely not afraid of trouble. Seeing that there were only 6 people who made Tian Xiaoguang like this, they had nothing to worry about. They directly strode forward and stopped Gong Jun. You want to see Brother Jun, right? Think carefully about your identity. Today's door, you will die if you enter. These people understood the importance of showing off their strength first. However, they didn't expect that Gong Jun didn't even say a word, and directly attacked. He punched one of them in the lower abdomen, and directly beat him until he curled up like a shrimp. The other person wanted to go forward to help, but he was also kicked a few meters away by Gong Jun. With this kind of strength, just showing a little of it was enough to make Tian Xiaoguang panic. After all, Gong Jun was a real supermaster. How could it be difficult for him to deal with a few underlings in the bar? Tian Xiaoguang rolled and crawled into Absolute Zero, afraid that he would be slapped to death by Gong Jun if he was one step slower. Brother Jun, save me. Zhang Jun, who had been waiting, saw Tian Xiaoguang's sorry state and was furious. This useless guy. How dare he ask for help in front of me? You are the only one who can shout. It's not a big deal. I don't believe that in my place. Who the F***ck dares to cause trouble? Zhang Jun's words instantly boosted the morale of the underlings. More than 30 underlings present showed the weapons in their hands. There were knives, spears, sticks, and everything. As soon as Zhang Jun's voice fell, Gong Zhen came in with 5 people. I dare. F***ck. Who the F***ck are you? Zhang Jun cursed loudly. When enemies meet, their eyes turn red. Looking at the guy who had swallowed so much of his goods standing in front of him, he only had a single thought to skin him alive. You don't care who I am, but Su Yun's matter can't be hidden anymore. Gong Zhen said. You should also stop. Who the F***ck is Su Yun? Zhang Jun spat on the ground. Don't try to find excuses for me. Just 6 people? How dare you come to my place and cause trouble? I think you don't know how to spell the word death. Brothers, charge. Even if you beat me to death today, I, Zhang Jun, will take care of you. Brother Jun still had some prestige. Once he gave the order, more than 30 brothers with weapons in their hands charged towards Gong Zhen's group. They weren't careless at all. They were definitely going to kill them. However, the gap between a hooligan and an expert wasn't small. It was quite huge. Even if Zhang Jun's underlings attacked crazily, it was impossible for them to be a match for Gong Zhen's group of 6. From the beginning, the battle was one-sided. Zhang Jun was simply dumbfounded by the power of the other party. What the F***ck was there to fight? They weren't on the same level at all. What kind of animals were these? How could they kick people more than 10 meters away? Looking at the broken chairs in the hall, Zhang Jun's heart felt like it was being ruthlessly squeezed by the other party. Just based on your standards? You still dare to challenge me? Gong Zhen sneered. I won't talk nonsense with you. Explain clearly the matter between you and Su Yun. Otherwise, I don't F***king know any Su Yun. Brother, did you get the wrong person? Zhang Jun knew that he wasn't a match for the person in front of him. If he fought with him head-on, he would definitely be finished. Gong Zhen used the same method he used to deal with Tian Xiaoguang, but it was much more ruthless. As soon as Zhang Jun finished speaking, a short blade appeared in Gong Zhen's hand. A cold light flashed, and the blood groove on the blade was dark red. It was obvious that it had spilled a lot of blood. Zhang Jun felt a sharp pain in his thigh. The dagger stabbed directly into it. Gong Zhen didn't treat him as gently as he treated Tian Xiaoguang. A slap to the face turned into a stab to the thigh. When the dagger went in, Zhang Jun's blood gushed out. Soon his pants were soaked. Brother, let's talk nicely. Just because of this little thing, you don't have to go so far, right? Zhang Jun endured the pain and didn't cry out. After being in the underworld for so many years, he still had this bit of tolerance. What do you want? Tell me. I'm asking you. What are you doing with Su Yun? Gong Zhen didn't fall for it. He pulled out the dagger and stabbed Zhang Jun's other leg without stopping for even a minute. Let's see how long you can last. I'm afraid you won't be bleeding until then, right? Even if you stab me to death today, I still don't know who that F***king Su Yun is. Zhang Jun was about to break down. He had nothing to say when he was messed with because of him. However, he was stabbed twice for no reason because of someone he didn't know. Even if it was **T, it shouldn't be so **T. Gong Zhen frowned. Looking at Zhang Jun's expression, it didn't seem like he was lying. He was really angry about this. But it was indeed his men who came into contact with Su Yun. At this time, Tian Xiaoguang was curled up in a corner. He kept repeating in his heart, "Can't see me, can't see me, can't see me. Pull that kid over here." Gong Zhen pointed at Tian Xiaoguang, who was curled up in the corner, and ordered his men behind him. Tian Xiaoguang's heart skipped a beat. Before he could think of a way to deal with it, he was grabbed by the neck and thrown to the feet of Gong Zhen and Zhang Jun. Zhang Jun was so angry that his teeth were itching, but he still had to hold back his anger. "Guang, what the hell is going on? You better explain it clearly to me. Who is Su Yun? What does it have to do with me? I asked you to deliver the goods, but you got me into this mess." Tian Xiaoguang was flustered. He couldn't afford to offend these two big brothers. I don't know. I really don't know. Brother June, I'm also confused now. For no reason at all. I was captured by them and they gave me a good beating. If you didn't get the map from Su Yun, would we have the time to find trouble with you? Gong Zhen wanted to curse. How would I know what's in the bag? Brother June, do you know I met someone today and he gave me a bag of paper money. I thought it was RMB. Don't you think I'm resentful? Tian Xiaoguang said. I'm so wronged. If I knew it was F*King paper money, I wouldn't have taken it even if I was beaten to death. I thought it was RMB. Gong Zhen muttered in his heart. You don't know the person who gave you the paper bag. Of course I don't know him. I thought it was money. I wanted to take the money and run. How would I know that the grandson cheated me? Tian Xiaoguang had the heart to die. I'm really wronged. I'm so wronged that my head is swelling. Then why did you admit it? Are you crazy? Gong Zhen's brain finally turned. He was fooled by Su Yun. But it's all this guy's fault. If this guy said it clearly, it would be fine. Tian Xiaoguang wanted to vomit blood. Big brother, you didn't give me a chance to explain. You slapped my mouth until it was swollen. Do I dare to say no? I really. F*CKU. Gong Zhen glared at Tian Xiaoguang in his heart, and waved to his men. Let's go. We were fooled by Su Yun. Brother Zhen, there are still people following him. Don't worry, he can't run away. Someone immediately reassured Gong Zhen. After the 6 fierce men left, the bar was in chaos. Zhang Jun's mouth twitched as he stared at Tian Xiaoguang. Tian Xiaoguang's legs went soft, and he knelt down directly. Brother Jun, you can't blame me for this. Chapter 1192. Su Yun had a good night's sleep because he knew that Ma San'er would be worried and unable to sleep. If anything happened, he would be able to react immediately. Therefore, he had a good night's sleep. Ma San'er had dark circles under his eyes. It was fine that he did not sleep well the whole night, but he was afraid that he would have to drive for a whole day to get rid of those tales that followed Su Yun. Sai, you can't blame society for your hard life. You can only blame yourself for your bad luck. I will definitely move this year. I will not stay in Pan Garden anymore. Ma San'er complained as he put on Su Yun's clothes. I can't do business like this anymore. Where are you moving to? Su Yun also changed into the clothes that Ma San'er found for him. I will definitely send you a flower basket when you open for business. I definitely can't tell you. I will be hiding from you if I move to another place. Ma San'er snorted. Why don't you know? How many times have you invited me for a meal, but you haven't? You only know how to ask me to do things, and it is always something so dangerous. I might even die if I don't pay attention. Sai, why do I have such a friend like you? Su Yun knew that Ma San'er was just complaining. He said, after this matter is over, I will keep my promise. Wang Fu Restaurant. Don't mention Wang Fu Restaurant. If you can let me have a meal at your Shenzhen hotel, that will be enough. Ma San'er said and stuttered. Just give me enough face. And that I have a girlfriend recently. I plan to spend a good time with her. That, Su Yun clapped his hands. I understand. You want to bring a girl for your honeymoon? Don't worry. I will give you enough face. When you reach Xinjiang, I will make a call and arrange everything for you. Ma San'er grinned. I was waiting for you to say that. Su Yun became serious. I asked you to help me because I trust you. I know that you can definitely do it well. You must be careful. All right, big brother, don't talk so much nonsense. Let's not be pretentious. If I can't even handle such a small matter, it would be too embarrassing if word got out. Ma San'er chuckled. Her trust in him warmed his heart. Ma San'er changed into Su Yun's clothes, put on a long-brimmed baseball cap, and matched it with a pair of sunglasses. From afar he looked exactly like Su Yun. To make up for the difference in height, Ma San'er even put on Shorty's Delight, which was rumored to be Little Four's favorite high-rise insoles. Therefore, as soon as he stepped out of the door, he was immediately targeted. Moreover, he was driving Su Yun's car. No one would suspect that he was Su Yun in disguise. There were indeed many people following him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have felt such a strong sense of danger. Ma Sanner realized this the moment he got into the car. No wonder Su Yin asked him to help lure the people away. One person couldn't handle so many people, so he had to ask him for help. Only by luring these people away would Su Yin be able to return to the Dragon Brigade without any worries. After Ma Sanner drove away, Su Yin instantly felt that the sense of danger had decreased by more than half. Soon, a few people with bad intentions approached Ma Sanner's shop in Panjiayuan. Su Yin brewed a cup of tea and quietly waited for them to appear. As expected, before the tea could cool down, the restless people rushed in. They didn't seem to want to let go of anyone that Su Yin came in contact with. "You guys have worked hard. Are you tired from following me?" Su Yin crossed his legs and smiled as he raised his head. The few of them were instantly shocked. They couldn't believe their eyes. They clearly saw Su Yin leave with their own eyes. How could he still be here? What was going on? "You guys started watching me in Xinjiang and followed me all the way to Yanjing." Su Yin smiled slightly. "Why? Are you trying to take revenge on me?" When the few of them heard this, they wanted to escape without another word. However, since they were already here, how could Su Yin let them walk out standing? Without waiting for them to turn around, Su Yin attacked. The teacup flew out instantly and hit the back of one of the people's head. Then Su Yin suddenly jumped up and attacked the other person's back with his palm. When the few of them saw Su Yin attacking, they immediately turned around to fight. However, Su Yin's strength was much higher than theirs. The 5 of them couldn't even last 10 moves before they were all knocked down to the ground by Su Yin. Although Su Yin was already very careful, he still accidentally broke one of Ma Sanner's porcelain bottles. He didn't know if this thing was expensive or not. "Say it. What does Lord Zeng mean?" Su Yin smiled slightly. "Although I don't want to argue with him, if he doesn't stop, I don't have that much patience." The leader of the 5 spat out a mouthful of blood and explained. "What, Lord Zeng? We don't know what you're talking about. We just want to steal some things from this shop. Since we're already in trouble, you should call the police. We'll wait. We won't run away. Do you think I'm stupid? If I hand you over to the police, it's obvious that I'm letting you go." Su Yin smiled. A few first-class masters coming to a small shop to steal antiques. Who would believe it? It's fine if you don't cooperate, but it's impossible to ask the police for help. I have a good place for you to think about it. After Su Yin said that, he took out his mobile phone and made a call. "Lele, come to Pan Garden Ma Sanner's place. I have something to ask you." "Oh yeah, drive your Chong and Big Dipper." "Okay, Brother Yin. Wait for me for 40 minutes. The person on the other side of the phone said quickly. The person that Su Yin wanted to ask for help was called Lele by people who knew him. They said that he was a hoodlum, but he wasn't. He knew how to do some proper work, unlike those hooligans who only knew how to fight, stand in the field, squat on the side of the road, and whistle at little girls who were little. But he wasn't a hoodlum. He didn't have a stable job. He just strolled around here and there all day long. He had also sent express deliveries, delivered takeouts, washed cars in a car beauty shop, handed out flyers in People's Square, and had experience as a sea waiter on a cruise ship. Su Yin knew him purely by coincidence. It was 5 years ago when Lele had just graduated from high school. He just came out and didn't have much experience. In the end, he was tricked by a big brother to deliver some white goods. This big brother was a famous national firearms and drug smuggler. He usually operated behind the scenes, but he didn't know how to appreciate Lele's shrewdness. At that time, Su Yin had already brought a few brothers from Dragon's Fury to target this big brother. This person was quite dangerous, so the country attached great importance to him. When Su Yin arrested this big brother, he also dealt with Lele. Lele really wanted to die at that time. He really didn't know that he was involved in this matter, and that he was delivering this harmful thing. At that time, this kid cried with snot and tears. When Su Yin asked him about the situation, he didn't hide it. His best brother in school was tricked into touching that thing in his second year of high school. Half a year later, he was neither human nor ghost. In the end, in order to raise drug money, he committed manslaughter during a robbery. He was directly sentenced to death with a reprieve. Fortunately, He had good behavior and was transferred to life imprisonment. Because of this matter, Lele was very disgusted with that harmful thing. Don't talk about touching it or getting involved in this matter. Sometimes, when he saw hooligans secretly selling drugs to people in nightclubs, he would go out and find a chance to trick them. Su-yin chose to believe it because of the look in his eyes. Lele was very grateful to Su-yin. From then on, this kid became a good example of the voluntary crackdown on drug crimes. He often made real-name reports. In the past few years, he became famous in Beijing. Many hooligans who made small amounts of money saw him as a thorn in their side and couldn't wait to get rid of him. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.